have poison, can I kill somebody with it?
If you have poison, can you? That's actually when we went online. If you have poison, you can kill someone with it. If you want to bring a poisoner's kit, you're limited by the knowledge that has. So a poisoner's kit, like, you could use it to poison someone's drink, but to literally like just blow it in the air, just create a toxin that just overflows the area, no, it would be very limited to the simplest things of the poisoner's kit because you never bought anything extra to it. So I'd say that if you took some time without being seen and you created some kind of concoction with the tools that you have provided to you, you could create some kind of poison. It would require you to make a roll to see how effective the poison is, or if it actually even works in the liquid you put it in.
I'm gonna have my dagger on me then.
You're gonna do a dagger. Okay, are you gonna put it in your boot then? Is that the idea?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And it's the dagger of ice.
Okay, good to know. Good to know.
Your ice pick.
All right. Yeah. So welcome back, everyone. Sorry about that. We are in episode 43. We're in part 2 of the Masquerade Ball.
Hooray!
So we didn't get into a lot of the Masquerade yesterday, so we're going to continue it up today and see how far we get. I did change the layouts. Hopefully you guys enjoy. Bear with me. I'm just making a few changes just because I made everybody's window a little bit larger, so I got to increase their cam size, and then we'll do a recap. Let's see here. If someone can go into the stream and just double check that the sound is working good, that'd be fabulous.
Yeah.
I currently am not playing. Well, I am playing music on the stream, so there should
good.
you should be able to hear music.
Okay, hold on. No, I don't hear any music.
You don't hear any music?
Yeah, I don't hear the music. Yeah.
Okay, I will fix that because my stream deck says I am. So
I do love the layout though.
thank you. Why is it not? Oh, okay. I know why. Hang on a second. I gotta quick change this. I know why, because the last one did not apply it. All right, now you should be hearing music. Well, when it gets updated. Just let me know if it works and if it is too loud, because I did increase the volume because I was watching last week's session and people could barely hear the music. It was way quiet. So I just want to make sure it's not overriding everybody's sound. Oh, and we got quite a lot of viewers. Thank you everybody for joining.
Yes, there is music playing. It's just quiet.
It is quiet, huh?
Yeah.
All right, let me turn it up a little bit.
Oh, no, there you go. Yeah, just wait for it to crescendo.
Is it too loud then? Because I just turned it up.
I think this is fine where it is now, yeah.
Okay.
No.
I mean, that's just me.
I just want to make sure it's not overriding anybody's voice.
I would turn it down just a little bit.
Okay.
Just like a little scooch.
Scotch.
A little bop,
Right,
as
just did.
Bertram does.
All right, so last time we left off, you guys did a little side venture, did a couple favors to help you get proper outfits and a proper alibi to get a more reasonable access into the party. As you make your way,
I got a drunk tiefling back to her
yes, you
job.
did. You found yourself a drunk tiefling. Each of you were able to get yourself covers. We didn't give you guys different names just to save on time. Fig and Cargrim, you two are playing as two noblemen. Fig playing as the head nobleman. The prince, and then the other one is more of a someone who gained their title, not was born with it.
It's Maybelline.
Alora and Corbin, you were playing the seer and the seer's essentially handmaid. Hal, you were playing as the Beastmaster, using the fact that you have a rare creature with you, which is your Phoenix. And Engie was playing as the bartender. Because we didn't have Celeste last time, Celeste, what do you want to do during this? I've already kind of stated to you before that if you want to just play as yourself, you can, because you are a noble in most rates, and you would actually have no problem fitting in here.
And with that being said, she is gonna play herself, because if she's trying to play something else, it'd look really weird to the people that would know who she is.
Correct.
Like, what are you doing?
Right.
So she's gonna play herself, just masked up.
Okay. Like I told you, you will pretty much know most of the people here, but you would only know, like, if you knew anything, it's probably more gossip or something that maybe was like something that maybe your father told you that's like he came in to take care of some people in case if there was a political mess. So you knew some kind of political information about them. But a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Most of the people you never really met personally, but you know them. So turn some music. So where we left off last, you all made your way inside due to your own respective ways. Some of you are there as guests, some of you are there as workers, and you've all kind of maybe done a little bit of sightseeing, looking around, talking to some people, and each of you have kind of started something off on your own. Fig, you met Asura, who kind of was intrigued when you started playing off that you were kind of going with the whole pro-Empire thing. Intrigued by the fact of not only that, but you also seen the pro-Plague enslavement. He is intrigued to make a business deal with you. Also, you found out that anybody who's not an elf or a human here was invited randomly. And they don't know why they're here, but they're here nonetheless. So he doesn't even know yet why he's been invited. But he just knows that there is some kind of big business deal that is involving everyone here, and it's a quote-unquote surprise.
I thought you said he was an elf. Was that incorrect?
He is an elf, but he's part of the group that doesn't know.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Okay. Good.
Hal, meeting another Beastmaster, you met a Leonin named Boris, very much draped in very expensive but very rugged tapestry, bone, cane, a lot of over eccentric gold rings on, and has his large snake wrapped around him as his familiar. Basically offering you a deal, you didn't bite, and then kind of thinking that you and him could do some business as you kind of enticed him with some also Imperial positivity, pro-Imperial. He decided, ooh, you and I can talk. Meet me over at the bar, I'll buy the first round. And then got himself a table. Essentially, to even put it in perspective, Fig and Hal, the tables that your possible upcoming business ventures are on the opposite sides of the room from each other. Alora, you were taking in some information. You were sitting over in the corner. You were given a specific spot to kind of warm up, relax, take in the room, do your whole vibe thing, kind of use your medium powers, and they would announce you when it is time for people to come in line for you. You're able to get some information. I'm not going to go over all of it again, but you did get some information. And a party ensued. Last thing that happened right before the announcement was that the great and powerful Alora was going to be ready to start taking people to see their fortunes and read into the souls. Was a surprise visitor showed up, which is Prince Revis, who came in surprise visit. Wasn't even bothered being checked for weapons, as in no one has a right to tell him to take off his weapon. and immediately came in, told everyone, "Don't worry, I'm coming in, and I'm gonna have a talk with Paris." Paris opened up a secret door, which you guys were able to see as they walked down with his automaton, Renard Tafton, who is one of the lords that dominate the world. And you were able to, between Allura and Fig, you were able to peek in the door real quick and notice that there was a large enough for a small humanoid creature to crawl in ventilation shaft that seemed to follow the staircase downwards. That's right above the doorway. And it seems like it's not usually watched as long as you don't have the guards notice you, as there's a guard to the left and right. Before they went down there, they were escorted by 2 elite guards. These people you've never seen before. They are normal Imperial soldier, but taken up a few steps. Extra armor on, all wielding a giant, huge greatsword that seems like they're enchanted by some kind of power that none of you can really understand unless you actually really get close to it. And everything from their helm to their clothing seems enchanted in some way. More of a deal with than what the pretty easy to notice. So that's where we left off. Before we continue, anybody want to do anything specific?
Quietly go over the plan again with Laura.
Okay.
Just to be clear, Fig and Allura are the ones that saw that, right? I know that
The ventilation
are
thing.
kind of hanging out with Fig and Allura.
Anybody who was hanging out, so you would have been, so Corbin and Cargrim, you might not have seen what they saw, but you definitely saw the doorway.
Got it. Okay.
You saw exactly what they saw, but they would have had a good enough, like, quick line of sight due to their training that they had the ability to quick like, analyze, like, okay, the door's quick, it opened up. Recognize everything that's inside since they're used to being thieves and assassins, which is why I allowed them to do the check. You guys can see it. You guys might have seen the hatch to the ventilation system, but it is trying to be hidden, and only really a thief would be able to see it in plain sight.
Whereas Cargrim and Corbin are like, hey, look, it's a door.
It's a door. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Hey, Ted.
Like I said, as far as the way that the door it's not necessarily quote-unquote hidden, but the way the room is shaped is there's 2 sides to each room that kind of have indentations to the wall. Those indentations are very noticeable, but they very much look like there's no reason to go in them, but there is a false wall inside those indentations where you can go into and open it up. Now everybody sees it, but there are guards right next to it, so it's just like, well, that's cool. I'm not going to bother like going to check the panel out because there are guards there. So, okay, so we're going to start it off with Allura and Corbin. As a couple people start maybe looking from a distance, not sure yet if they want necessarily a goblin reading their fortune. They're kind of like looking at from the distance, kind of like, oh, kind of maybe like trying to look at your orb from a distance. Maybe they can see that. Almost looks like they're trying to see if, like, is it her power or is it the orb? Like they're fascinated and vexed, but they're like, I don't want a filthy goblin reading my fortune. Few more people come around. We'll come back because they're kind of more or less like, they're kind of like on the fence about it. We're gonna go with Celeste since Celeste wasn't here last time. So just to let you know, Celeste, you weren't allowed to carry any armor or weapons in here, but because you have unarmored defense, you do naturally carry a regular defense, so you're pretty good, unlike the rest of them, which I think most of them have a 10 AC. What would you like to do?
So, Celeste is gonna walk in, scan the room, or is she already in the room?
You're already in the room. I'm gonna kind of pass that. We're on the 10th floor of this giant tower. Everybody's wearing way too elegant of clothing, way over the top than what you're even used to. But it is a large party.
She's gonna scan the room, see if there's anybody notable that she would recognize.
Okay.
Or, like, kind of recognize.
Give me an investigation check.
Oh man, that's... Ooh, a nat 20.
Woohoo! All right. Let us go. All right.
Starting off strong.
Right.
Yeah.
First off, a couple people grab your attention right away, as these are people not only have you seen before, but you would have seen vaguely recently, or you know decent information about off of them. Primarily, the first one that you've seen recently outside of this is a fire genasi named Virgil. He was the third competitor in the actual competition, and he's there. Not only is he there, but someone allowed him to bring his sword. And he's walking around in a kind of like a shirtless coat with fitted riding pants and boots. It looks like specifically the coat without a shirt is specifically like that due to the heat that comes off his body. But he is wielding his sword on his back. And he's kind of walking around. Looks like he's kind of out of his element. Not really chatting with anyone. Maybe trying to see if maybe he can try to, where you stand by a group and hopefully you kind of get thrown into the conversation and it's not really working.
Does he have any guards or anything with him, or is he just kind of?
No, it seems like he's alone. He seems like he's by himself. Next person. Go ahead.
So she's gonna try to walk by that person.
Okay.
And kind of flirtatiously bump into them, but not take anything, just to get his attention. Just
all right.
Hey, sorry, just had a few drinks.
Just give me a charisma check. Just throw me a
Okay.
charisma check, just for kicks.
A 9.
9. You make the appeal to it, no matter which way you thought. It falls more as it's drunk flirting than flirting in general. But go
Okay.
ahead.
And she's gonna be like, "Oh, sorry, had a few drinks. Looks like I need a few more to stable myself."
Oh.
And then she's gonna head to the bar.
And he kind of looks around, looks back, almost kind of not sure what to do with it. And he does follow behind, but almost kind of tripping his feet in the process.
Just want to make friends with the one guy with the weapon in this
Okay.
place.
He kind of comes up by. It's up. Immediately kind of waves up the fingers to the bartender. Please allow me. It's the least I can do. Barkeep, please. What can I get you? Virgil asks you. What can I get you?
The stiffest drink they can give here.
As the bartender kind of looks behind, and Lily has a whole 50-foot long row of different kind of alcohols of different varied colors and varieties. It's all right. And you, sir, I guess I'll have what the lady's having. Very well. Immediately goes up there, grabs a loaf from one side, grabs a loaf from the other, kind of runs back and forth, kind of throws 3 different bottles in one thing, pours it in there, shakes it up, pours you kind of a drink of a greenish gold, kind of kind of mixture. It's almost emerald green with a gold spiral going down it, and kind of throws a couple berries inside. There you go. As he slides 2 glasses to you. Enjoy. And then walks off and goes help out another customer.
And then Celeste is gonna look at him and be like, "Man, with the gentleman with the sword that large, where somebody runs into you, I'd wonder what you do on the battlefield. Do you just give them your gold?"
Well, I'm kind of blushing a little bit. I'm not really on the battlefield so much. I mean, it's not like this sword doesn't get used or anything, but I'm usually just a sword for hire. I'm sorry, that's not the best way to put it. I help out people around, and if the sword is required, I use it. But realistically, I'm just kind of helping hand. I'm only really here just because the Don usually requests me to kind of rival up the crowd during the competition. It's a little bit money here or there, but I mean, this sword and I have been through a kind of grabs the handle behind his back.
She's gonna clink without him prompting, just aggressively, not aggressively, but clink his drink and be like, "I'm sure you save all the damsels," and then slam the drink.
and then immediately tries to keep up, and it tries to play along, and immediately tries to drink the kind of like almost not used to drink it so much, but trying to really play along. That was I mean, I don't know about damsels, but what was in that? Kind of almost like he's never drank before. Well, no, I mean, no, not really. No. It's just me and me and the goddess. That's pretty much it.
Oh, the goddess, you say? Well, I'm gonna go roam around this party to see if there's any more entertaining people here than you. So you have a good night, and find me later if you need to be.
Ouch.
Oh, of course. By the way, as you're like walking away, I'm Virgil. Virgil. Oh, you're gone. Okay.
Poor little man.
Yeah, Celeste is just gonna not look back and just hold her finger up, like, yeah, not like.
Okay. It's like
Poor
all
little
right.
guy. I just want to give him a hug.
You tried so hard.
Sad.
With the
Poor
natural
Virgil.
20, there's a few other people that really stick out to you. First off, you're gonna need to write this down. It's a long name.
Are you gonna spell it?
I shouldn't have to spell it. It's just a long. There's a lot of surnames to it. It's
fun.
It's a multi-worded name. So there's a drow here that you're very familiar with and has done constant business with your father, so much that you've actually talked in person with this man. His name is Arthur Stanley Versailles Corvix III.
Arthur
Stanley
Versailles
Corvix III. He is a noble drow, and he's one of the few drows that actually have nobility in the Elven Empire. Since drows usually can't get nobility in the Elven Kingdom. It's usually against the law.
Do I know him as a shady person or a stand-up?
Oh, he's shady as all hell. He's mostly made his fortune off the backs of others. And the way that he's been able to get through power is in part to your father. Your father has basically allowed him to get away with a lot of handshake deals and not deliver on his part of the bargain. Kind of saying, I'm going to make a deal with this man. All right, he filled up his part. Now kill him so I don't have to pay him back.
Les is gonna take a mental note of
Okay.
that and head to the food table. If you
To
want
describe
see what
him,
other people-
just to give you a picture, he has a drow, large pointed ears. He's got the kind of capped earrings on that wraps around the whole ears. He's wearing a long one-piece suit, like drenched up from collar, buttoned up all the way down as like a dress almost kind of. And he has a large shawl from left shoulder to right shoulder to left waistline that is in the design of a serpent. Currently, he is talking to the king and the queen of the Elven Kingdom. Seems like they're discussing business of some kind. Maybe not current business, but maybe a previous business venture. They're laughing a little bit. Seems lighthearted.
Celeste is gonna think to herself, "Oh, there goes all their coffers."
The other one that grabs your attention is actually the person that met Fig. Asora Zala Kingston. Being also an elf, many elves have dealt with your father. This elf is not as shady. Think of him as more as he accidentally got into shady business due to people taking advantage of him. He's not purposely a bad guy. He just kind of got rolled up into it and just, he's that one
Can't beat
person
him
of like
for
the
it.
mafia group that's like, I can't get out because someone will kill me, but I'm making money in the process. You know that he works directly for the Empire, and the deals that he had with your father were specifically to, since your father was one of the lords, specifically making sure that anything he does would keep him safe. He would do dirty work to his not to his liking, but it would keep him alive and rich. Mostly alive is what he really worried about. You don't know what originally grabbed him, where he couldn't get out of the whole debacle, but when you first met him, he kind of seemed a little stuttery, a little off his game, and now when you look at him, he seems like a completely different person. Totally focused and very on point. Those are the those are the people you really recognize.
Yeah, she's just gonna take a mental note of those characters and go and find food.
Okay.
Lots of food.
Okay. There is food to be had. There are several waiters that are going around with silver plates of different kind of creme-covered biscuits and different kind of, almost kind of like a sugar-covered berry dish. Very elegant foods for this area, especially since no garden green grows around here. So they would have had to get it imported from somewhere. And then you also see like there's other trays of a very unique, almost kind of like a champagne, but it's more orange than kind of like a champagne colored champagne going around. But you're able to partake in all the different foods, get your gluttony on. Gonna go over to Hal. It's been roughly about 20 minutes since you talked to Boris.
Okay.
You do see Boris kind of sitting over. He has quite a large cask of ale at his side. He's currently kind of having his snake off his body and kind of wrapped down in a coil on top of the table that's right on the booth. Just kind of almost comes like numbing on something in the middle of his coil. You're not in the middle of his coil and you're not really quite sure what it is, but he's kind of having a large cask. A couple people are coming by. Looks like they're giving him things, like almost like offerings. Like maybe he's got some deals with some people and this is the only time he sees them, so they have to pay him now or deal with some kind of consequences. But he is sitting there. Looks like he's leaving the booth open, probably for you.
Okay. I guess and I'm the only. Are we the only Beastmasters at the party that I can?
I mean, you can give me an investigation check to see if you can look around for anybody who has a familiar with them. They wouldn't really tell you if they're a Beastmaster or not, but
Right.
you would assume that if someone here has a familiar, they most likely would be that they are an animal trainer by means. What'd you get?
Not with that roll.
What'd you get?
I got a 11.
11. As far as obviousness, you only see one other person other than yourself and Boris that has an animal on their side. You do see a human gentleman, hair tied back, has a couple white streaks across the side, kind of more down like bangs and a little bit of the sideburns that are white. Very elegant, long, white and black streaked beard tied down the bottom. And it looks like he has a very unique cat that's kind of hanging on his shoulder. The reason why I say unique is you would have never seen this race before. The cat itself has long, pointed ears, longer than a high elf. The ears come up at a certain point and almost kind of, as an actual breed, they almost kind of curl at the tip. The tail itself is bushy, but also long and wraps, like a dog's tail, kind of. The body itself, due to the length of the legs, it could probably stand up on all fours, probably about 3 feet off the ground. But it's currently draped over its person's shoulders like a feather wrap, like a fur wrap, where it's just kind of sleeping there, kind of not really sleeping, but it's like laying there as it's sleeping, kind of keep its eyes on people, but it's just kind of like draped over there and just kind of resting on its person's shoulders.
Cool. I want to head in that direction and want to try talk.
And you want to what?
Talk to him.
As you're making your way there, they are kind of on the opposite side of the room. So you start heading over there. You do notice that they are in talks with a couple other people. You do see that the people they're talking to seem to be human, a male and female, both dressed up in more of a sheer look. Not as elegant as most of the others. Looks like they're just chit-chatting it up. Do you want to interrupt the conversation, or you just want to kind of wait?
I'll interrupt. I'll go, oh, sorry to bother you. Hello, everyone. My name is Hal. I'm a fellow Beastmaster here attending the party. I was hoping to have a conversation with my good friend here, fellow Beastmaster, and wanted to ask a few questions.
Oh, that. Yeah, of course. Apologies. He looks over to his friends. I apologize. We'll catch up. They start walking back up. Oh, I heard about you. You're the one with the there it is. Such a beautiful creature. I have never seen a phoenix in up in front before this close. I mean, I've heard rumors of their but it's just such a magnificent creature. I mean, congratulations to having and having such a magnificent friend. It is, I have Tally right here, and kind of pets the ears of Tally, as the ears kind of like almost like without having the body move, the ears almost manually curl around the fingers as he pets the head. Kind of purrs a little bit. It's
likewise. Yeah, your familiar is one of a kind. It's so beautiful. Can I shake hands or?
Are you asking to shake his hand or touch the cat?
Cat.
Kind of leans his shoulder over. All right, Tally. Be good. You kind of reach his shoulder.
And then I'll use animals speaking. I think it's called. And I will say hi as I put my hand out.
It'll look directly at you, and without even using speak with animals, you'll just hear telepathically in your head. Pleasure. How do you do?
Cool. Doing well, thank you. How are you doing?
I'm fantastic. Looks back up at the human. This
And I didn't catch your name. What is your name, sir?
Are you asking the cat or are you asking the man?
No, the guy.
Okay. Guy. Puts his hand out to shake. Turiak. And you're Hal?
Yes, I am Hal. Yes.
Pleasure.
Great to meet you. Yes.
Yeah.
So where are you from?
Oh, I'm all over. I have a ship right out in the dock. I don't make port too much. But we usually work out in the ocean right outside the human kingdom. It's usually the best place I can get without having to deal with too many legal problems as far as fishing and whatnot. But that's usually where I make port. This is the first time I've come over to this area. But I would like to say it's a lovely place, but it is quite dreary for such a overly gaudy home. But I'm sorry, what brings you here?
So I'm a little new to this type of crowd and things like that, and just kind of get to know everyone. When I came in the room, I was trying to get some information on some bounties and things like that, or just groups I'm trying to interact.
Oh,
with,
you're a bounty hunter.
Get more information about. A bit. I dabble with a good party of mine. We've been close comrades and things like that.
Oh, are they here?
But they're around for sure. They're just all scattered over the room.
Oh, fantastic!
Like
fantastic.
I'll introduce you later.
Oh,
We're not there. We're not there.
Fantastic. I mean, don't get me wrong. Bounty hunting is a quite a lucrative endeavor. I prefer piracy myself, but each makes themselves some money. At least you can stay on land. I'm not too much of a land dweller. I prefer to keep my feet wet, if you know what I mean. And
Okay.
So, well, that's great. You got your team. I have a crew. But I am the captain, and the crew has to stay on ship. My first
What's the
mate's
name
here
of your
somewhere. Don't know where he
Do
ran
you have
off
a name
to.
for- Do you have a name for your ship?
It is the. Hang on, let me pull it back up.
If you have,
Hang on, I gotta find it.
Okay.
God dang it. All right, I don't have it on me right now.
That's all right, don't worry about
It's
it.
the
We'll
lance
get
of
back.
something. It's the I can't remember what the lance of. It's the lance
that's
of
cool.
something.
Sure. Anyways, so I wanted to ask you, as meet people and stuff. Have you ran or had any dealings with this other beast master Boris with the snake cobra he has going around?
Oh. It kind of like looks over in the corner. Ah.
Yeah. I guess we're gonna say that as like or like not looking in his direction, but like facing it, like so he's the back of us.
Sure. Boris. Boris is, let's say he just gets things done, and he gets them done efficiently. I don't necessarily agree with his methods, but his companion knows how to get things done better than most. And I offered him actually a spot on my ship once, and he declined. I think he's more of a lone wolf than more than anything else. But I have nothing to really say, either positive or negative. I mean, we've only crossed each other's paths a couple times, but kind of pets their head again. I mean, they're not a big fan of his familiar so much, and
Yeah.
I trust in their instincts, and I think that's enough to be said.
Sure. Okay.
But I do know that he does make some interesting business ventures. I have done a couple business dealings with him before, and pretty lucrative. If you find yourself on the business end of him, I definitely wouldn't say it's wasting your time, if anything else.
All right. Fair enough. I appreciate the advice and everything. Thanks for the info. I appreciate it.
Well, I got to get back to the party. Hal, it was a pleasure. He puts his hand back out.
Yep, and I'll shake his hand as well. Thank you so much.
The cat looks back at you. It's a pleasure, and then just kind of walks off. As like,
yeah. Eos will wave as well. At his
okay.
No.
Cool. All right, and yeah, that's what I got there. I'll probably maybe get a drink and then mosey my way back over the board.
Okay. We're gonna switch over to. We're gonna switch back over to. Let's see where we at. Alora and Corbin, just due to the fact that now more people are getting in line. At this point, a couple of people decided to kind of get interested. They get a little bit closer, and as they get closer, a couple more people kind of start surrounding around, and someone kind of comes by. Please make sure that we are staying in a single file line. We do not want to get too close to the Enchantress. Please, single file line. As they start kind of like forming up, but they're kind of like, they're still kind of like peeking around the corner, kind of like wondering, is this for real? As the first one kind of comes up, female, human.
I do have detect thoughts up as soon as the line forms.
Okay.
Just so you know.
Very much big
Sorry.
hair Victorian style, like the big wigs. The big, huge, blonde, bushy wig tied up, kind of wearing a large, huge silver gown, wide. Have to have the, I can't think of what the device is underneath that you do to hold up the dress really wide, but she's wearing that.
Like the hoop skirt or whatever.
Yeah, the hoop skirt. Thank you. She walks up, kind of like looking around. How do we do this?
As she was walking up, what else can I notice about her? Can I notice if she was talking to anybody
Give me a perception check.
else?
I'll say because they're allowing you to look at people, you can give it to me with advantage.
Yay.
And what surface thoughts do I get from them?
Surface thoughts.
I also want to make sure to tell the line that the mistress only sees one person at a time because we don't need like a group of people.
Surface thoughts are immediately. I hope she doesn't look too far in.
Hoo-hoo.
All right, so 27 for perception. Nice. So she sits down at a little.
Corbin's going to flick his tail up, which indicates it's about the future.
Okay. There's a little stool that's set up for anybody who's going to sit at the table. She sits down. She looks at you. So I've never done this before. Kind of looks at you all confused, not sure what to do.
I'm gonna look at her, and I'm gonna hand my hand over the crystal ball, and I'm gonna say, "Sit." You start by sitting.
She kind of rests down a little bit more comfortably. Kind of fidgety a little bit, not really sure, maybe someone kind of nudged her to do this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then, since thaumaturgy's just detect thoughts is concentration, but thaumaturgy's not, so if I can, I'd like to use thaumaturgy to still do the ominous whispers whenever.
Got it. Okay,
Just
are you
kind of,
going to
like,
do ominous
echo around.
whispers as like around the area, or are you going to echo her voice very loud?
I'm gonna echo Elle's voice.
Got it. Okay. So you
So
start
what-
noticing, Alora, that as you speak, you kind of have like a little bit of an eerie after echo to you.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
Tip jar, please.
So as she walked up to me, did I notice who she was talking to? If she seemed like what her profession was?
She was one of the two people that were looking from a distance at the beginning. She was talking to another person who's not in line. It looks like the person she was talking to is wearing a very similar outfit than to hers, with a different coloration. Most likely sisters or cousins or some kind of relation, both female. It looks like the other one kind of nudged her in this direction. As far as anything really explaining her profession, you can see that she's wearing a specific kind of bracelet that has it chains up to the point that kind of hangs from her wrist. So it's not tight, it's a little loose. And you can see it as a symbol of an eye with a teardrop. And she is specifically always kind of like hiding it. Like she's constantly, when she sat down, she's kind of like covering the top of it, kind of like hiding it from you. And she seems to have two earrings that are two different styles. One is the eye, one is the teardrop.
Would I know anything about
The
like
symbol?
a symbol of an eye and a teardrop?
You can give me a history check.
Even though I can't really help her, can I do a history check too?
You can give it to me about something else because you would not have you would not notice what she noticed.
Okay.
So if you want to give me a history check, it could be on something else if you want.
Let's see. Can I do it about to see if she's trying to mimic a certain time period with her clothing?
Sure. Yeah. Give me a history check for that. Yeah.
Yay. I mean, not like I'd be able to communicate that, but Corbin's still very curious as to. That's a natural 20 plus 8.
All right. And Laura got 19. So we're gonna first go with the Laura. So you know that
I know clothing.
you don't know much about you don't know about what the symbol means, but you know what it represents. That specific symbol represents the god. I'm sorry, the goddess. Let me pull up her name. Oh god, just had it on my screen. I had it spelt wrong in here, so I gotta change it. The god is Uthbor, the god of revenge. Uthbor is constantly represented as a great angel that is constantly has constantly bloody tears. Usually it's represented as revenge for lost loved ones. whether that means specifically revenge because maybe her husband died and she wants to revenge against the person who murdered her, or specifically because she found out her husband was cheating on her and she's praying to this god to essentially cut his nuts off. Something like that.
Nice.
Or specifically, they maybe get her the strength to do it herself. One of the three. But that's all
Okay.
you really know because you're not really a religious person. But that stuff is kind of like common knowledge of what that god does. It requires a lot of devotion. So, you know, if it was a thing that God would constantly give out, there would be murder all over the streets. So most likely this is something that maybe she's overdressing herself in this stuff because she's really trying to communicate with that specific goddess.
Did someone say murder?
In the streets.
So I'm
But yeah.
okay. I'm gonna look at her and I'm gonna say, lean forward.
Okay,
I will
she
peer
leans.
into your soul.
Okay. She kind of like looks at you and then she kind of drops down her eyes a little bit to look into the orb.
I'm gonna look at her for a moment, just enough to make her feel really uncomfortable.
Okay.
I'm just gonna stare
With the whispers.
into her eyes. Yes, with the whispers going.
Okay.
All right, give me intimidation check with advantage.
Okay,
We're gonna scare everyone away. This is gonna be great.
I know.
I'll give you advantage because the echo of your voice. Ooh, 11.
Huh.
She's already kind of unnerved. It doesn't seem like what you're doing is really like do anything more than what she's already feeling. Maybe it's your first time trying this and you gotta try to get it down pat. But she is kind of listening to you and she's just kind of focusing on the orb and she's just kind of like just kind of taking it in.
I see a past. I see a past that used to be good. That I can't look in further, but something happened, and you're filled with wanting revenge. I see an eye is watching you.
She immediately just like, wait, an eye? Whose eye?
And I'm gonna hold my head and there's
Holding her third eye.
crying. There's sadness. If you continue down this path, it's watching you. And it's not gonna end well.
Wow, Al's convincing someone to not commit a crime. This is amazing.
She's like, wait,
Very convincing.
you see? Do you see what would happen?
And I hold the crystal ball and I look again. Your future's black. You need to change your course, or there will be no future.
She's kind of all fleshless. She immediately gets up and she's about to run off, but she immediately like turns around and she kind of pulls out a piece of gold from like inside her brassiere and immediately puts it down into like a bowl and she immediately walks off crying and then running over to her friend.
And Elle's just sitting there, very nonchalant, calm, and inside she goes like, "Oh my gosh, I'm getting paid for this. I love this."
We're gonna pause on you. We're gonna go over to Fig.
Did I notice anything about the clothing? I got a natural 20.
I'm
Give
sorry.
Me something.
I'm sorry. The clothing
God
itself
damn it.
it's not really any specific time
Don't
period of this
do this to
realm,
me.
and it's not specific like any location in this realm. It's maybe specifically of a normal family's specific like specific armor, like the
Okay.
you know that the certain nobility wears this kind of clothing and to be just more eccentric, but it's not like representative of like a certain nation or a certain time. It's just kind of like saying like
I'm
maybe it's certain
hoity-toity.
families that have nothing to do with war and they just want to be rich and they just want to be fancy and they just want to go to parties and balls and then
Okay.
get married and then have kids and then repeat the process and so on and so forth. Very Pride and Prejudice kind of style.
Got it. Corbin's like, that was a success. Yeah, okay.
All right, so Fig and Cargrim.
Mm-hmm. I would think we would take one more lap before we would join the one
All right, fantastic.
individual.
All right, as you give
During that lap, I would have mentioned what I saw in the doorway to Gargum.
to Cargrim.
So-
All right, fantastic.
Yep.
Okay. All right, so Cargrim, you are now informed about the information about the specific hatch that leads into a ventilation system that perfectly follows the stairway down. To describe how this hatch works, once you go into that little corner that has the false door, there's also the hatch itself is almost a false hatch. Like from a distance, you can't see it, but once the door opens, there's a little bit of light that comes out of the actual hallway of the door, and because it lifts up at an angle, you do see these small little holes in the ventilation shaft. It's like if you had an air vent, but you decided to paint it the exact same color as your wall. You would only see the holes of the metal.
Got it.
And that's what Fig sees. And the door itself is roughly about 6 feet high. The ventilation shaft is about a foot above that, and the ventilation shaft can fit about a small to medium-sized humanoid. So it'd roughly be about 6 to 8 feet off the ground. But as far as the size of a creature that can fit in there, no one out of this group, I think only Fig, yourself, because you're not currently wearing your armor or have your weapons on you, and Alora can fit in there. If you're wearing your armor and having your weapons, you would not be able to fit in it. But because you are wearing regular, like, clothes, you could fit in there if you wanted to.
Yeah.
Basically, if you're any larger than about 5'5", I'd say 5'4", you probably can't fit inside of it.
Makes sense.
Which is maybe part of its design. That's kind of like, okay, only someone so big can fit in here, and if they have the ability to get in there, we're going to notice them maybe reaching up to go inside. So, Fig and Cargrim, either both of you can give me a investigation check, or one of you with advantage, just to scope the room again as you guys are walking around.
Do you want to both do
No,
checks?
I'm not good with investigation.
Okay. With advantage, you said?
Yeah, if you just want to do it yourself, you can give me a 2 with advantage.
22.
Okay. 22. So as you're walking the room, you happen to clock the rest of your team. You do know now where everybody is. You do see Celeste over at the bar right now. You do kind of, at this point, you kind of clock it right when Celeste is leaving the bar. And you do now clock Virgil. You do clock the other competitor for Alora and Cargrim. Cargrim, you'll be seeing this too, as you do see Virgil just kind of like, you do see like that instant moment where Virgil's just trying to say something to Celeste, and Celeste is just kind of walking off. It does kind of throw you at a little bit off that even though you guys technically had a higher rank in the championship, in the tournament, than him, he was able to walk in with his weapon.
Yes.
You're able to see that Hal is starting to make his way towards a specific booth. You do see that there's a line going on for Alora right now, as you, at this point, you would have just seen don't know why, but a woman in a big, huge dress running away from Elle crying.
Checks out.
Checks out. And nothing else really grabs your attention other than those things.
Okay.
You do still see that Asora is sitting at a table and is just kind of going over a couple scrolls. Has a whole booth, currently empty. Kind of has one of those U-shaped booths, and Asora is sitting at the far end of it. So if you decide to go in, you have to either go on the left or right side. They're taken in the far back side of it.
Okay. And did I... So now we know where all the exits are. Correct.
Yes.
Okay. And we've clocked all of what
Where the guards are, yeah.
That's the guard.
Yep.
Okay.
Now, the one thing that
Awesome.
you do notice that is different than when you clocked everyone is that there are 2 new guards, but you would have noticed them come in with Revis and Renard, the 2 elite soldiers. They're specifically not mingling, but wherever they go, everybody has to kind of move out of their path. They're kind of walking around. You try to see if there's a method to their madness, but they're just walking around in a weird, unplanned way, and it's unable to really figure out if they're just maybe they're doing a very, very complex route, or they're just kind of saying, hey, I'll turn right here. Left sounds good, and they just kind of just do whatever they want to do.
Does it look like they're holding anything in their hands or casting anything while they're doing that?
Their hands are just kind of just at their side. They don't look like they're casting anything, but they are wearing. They do have their swords on their back, which are quite large and quite intimidating. You're unable to see what they're looking at since they do have full shielded helms, so you're unable to see their eyes. You basically can't see anything in their skin. They're fully armored.
Yeah.
I'll actually show you what they look like, because they do have a look at them.
Dun, dun, dun.
The big reveal.
Because I don't think I've ever actually showed you the elites before, because you guys have never encountered the elites.
Probably a good thing. Just maybe.
Oh, okay. Good. Now that I know what they look like, I can make myself look like them if I want to.
They have a very
At any time.
imposing, whether it's specifically
They
something about them
touch.
that's intimidating, or specifically something about just their rank that's intimidating. Even the king and the queen of the Elven Kingdom decide to move out of the way for them crossing.
Makes
Even though they
sense.
say nothing. They're just walking and people are moving out of their way. They're not like
It makes sense.
stopping what they're doing. They're just kind of like, all right, let's move aside so they can walk through. And it's pissing some people off because, again, people are like, okay, are they going to go left? Are they going to go right? And no one knows what they're doing, just walking. And they're just kind of just looking around. You don't know if they're actively trying to find something, but they're just walking, looking, and just kind of just moseying. Unsure of what's going on, maybe.
Good to know. I'll keep an eye on them as I move about. And then I will go towards the booth then.
Okay.
Unless there's something that you would like to do, Gramps.
No, Cargrim realizes that he's very bad in social situations. He's one giant social situation, so he's just kind of like clinging to Fig like a lost puppy at this point, because he's like, I'm not fucking this up, I'm not fucking this up, I'm not fucking this up, and then
Must be good, must be good, must be good.
Things going on, and he'll like in his head be like, ha ha ha, but he's not saying anything out loud.
Okay. Sounds good.
Yeah.
All right.
Got checked out.
So
Yeah,
we'll head
no.
towards the booth.
Okay.
And I will follow.
Okay. As you start making your way to the booth, you do see the way I described. You do see Asura sitting there, just kind of eventually notices you're coming and just kind of rolls up a couple of scrolls. Not specifically to hide him from you, but just trying to like clean up the table. Immediately as he sees you coming, immediately just kind of puts up 2 fingers to grab a waitstaff person. As by the time you come over, waitstaff person comes over. Oh, please. Looks at you. Have a seat. What can I get you? As the waitstaff is just kind of like waiting there with the book and just kind of ready to write down whatever you want to drink.
I just wave off the waitstaff from me.
What about
like
your companion?
He's gonna look at Fig kind of lost, like, should I not?
He's fine. I just look
Okay.
at him and says he's fine.
And then looks
Yeah.
at the waitstaff. The waitstaff looks back at him. You know, what that gentleman's having looks just fantastic. I'll have one of those. As he points over to like what looks like a champagne, but kind of has like a couple pieces of fruit in it. Kind of almost looks like they're leaking like a certain kind of fluid inside the drink.
Mm-hmm.
As the waitstaff heads off, comes out of the drink. No, please, sit. I'm happy that you both decided to arrive.
I gestured to Gramps to sit on the other side, so we're kind of like blocking him in to a point into the
Alright.
booth, and I sit on the other side.
As you sit down
But
comfortably,
very
kind of,
gracefully,
Okay.
like a prince would.
he
I
goes
even
from
put my knee up on my other, or put my foot up on my other
Yep.
knee, like
and
you
he
would
does something
sit.
similar from where he was before, and he was kind of leaning over, kind of very much like at a desk, where he's kind of like reading some stuff. He kind of relaxes back, crosses the leg, takes the champagne, and takes a little sip. So, let's talk. I'm sorry. We need to get our bases on straight. I just want to make sure I'm covering everything. What specifically do you do again? It looks at you, Fig.
I do a little here and there. I'm sure you've heard of me.
It kind of looks at you. It's like, oh, of course.
Then you know that some of the business I do, it does not need to be said in this company.
Totally understand. Mine too. I'm sure you heard me, and my business is very vague. But
Precisely.
You know, we seem to have a similarity of some kind. It's not specifically talking about jobs, but maybe why we're here. You said you're not very familiar with why you were invited. I don't know why I'm invited. I'm an elf, and it seems like other elves know why they're here, but I seem to be short straw drawed out. And it seems like other people have been asking around that, let's say, have titleless roles seems to have been invited here under the same circumstances. And, you know, you saw the invites. You know, we're invited here for some major deal. Something big is happening that they want us to be present for it. Do you know anything about this?
I have hypothesis on it.
Well,
However,
please, share.
well, I think it has to do something with the Don's project.
His project. As he kind of like puts on his drink, like he's clearly confused by what you're saying. Not like that makes no sense. Just like this is a piece of information you did not have.
Oh, maybe I have said too much. Maybe you're not privy to that information.
Oh no! Of course, I'm sorry. Of course, the Don's project. I'm sorry. The booze. I of course. Right. Right. With the plague. Right. He's doing this. Man,
I just like nod and not. I do a casual nod, which is not like could be taken both as a yes and as a maybe kind of thing, where it's just like where I'm letting him lead himself to whatever he wants to say.
Just give me. You can choose to either give me a persuasion or deception check. You can give it to me with advantage. I just want to see just to lead him on.
Well, then it's going to be deception.
Okay. 22.
22.
Okay. So, without really saying anything, he's kind of like filling in the pieces already, kind of. You mean the plague, right? It has to be the plague. Yeah, he's, I didn't know that Don was involved. I mean, the plague, even though, that even though we have nothing to do with these peasants around here, they have their purpose, and it seems like a couple of them have kind of decided to take the lead of, obviously, the Fallen, and they have been able to figure out a way to control the plague, and I think that's why we're all invited here. They want to tell us about their big deal to try to take that power and make it their own. And I mean, it's what we're talking about, right? That their new empire, their new army is just gonna be nothing but enslaved Plagueborn. I mean, it makes sense.
Well, and where there is power, there's always a deal and a value. Actual merit value against it.
But what gets me vexed though is then what brings us here? They could easily just do that and just send out couriers. Why?
Witnesses.
This is the first time that you're seeing him like very confused. Like before, he was playing along and he was very much a fan of boasting about the information he has. Now he's very much kind of like, I don't know what to make of this. This is not what I was thinking. It's just kind of looking. Whoa, so kind of like leans up closer to you, looks back at Cargrim, looks back at you. I'm sure you know, as yourself, you know, I do, as many do, a lot of the unfruitfulest things that the Empire does not want to be seen doing. That being bribes and, you know, fingers here, fingers there. I mean, are we supposed to confront these people ourselves? I mean, I've heard tales about this man. I don't want to deal with him.
Well, you said you came here through the best means necessary, right? You came through the Underdark.
I did.
And who controls the Underdark? Or a portion of it?
I mean, mostly the Underdark is actually controlled by demons itself, but you're talking about the exits around the world, that's usually the Empire. But as far as the Nexus points, it's these people here. They got them.
Right. Right. So you...
Fascinating.
Mhm. And if the Dawn is involved, which I have the hypothesis of what we were speaking earlier, and we are at the point that we are at now. Put two together.
I wonder why
Maybe
that's the princess here. If only we
I
could
don't
get our
know.
ears up in that room.
I know, I was wondering why, you know, if he has so much esteemed guest here. Unless they are preparing, it's possible.
It's too much to speculate. As he's looking at himself, they have that well guarded. I have no way to get in there. I mean, if there's only way, God, to be a fly in that wall.
It's
What?
true.
Almost like he's looking at like if you're at work and you know someone thinking that possibly what they're doing is going to get them fired. This is what he's kind of looking like right now.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
he's afraid that this big move is going to just fuck his life up in a poor way. Whether that means just literally him losing his job, which means losing his money, or worst thing, that he'll get killed just because they don't need his position anymore. God, we gotta think of something.
I mean,
At this point, not
I
to
mean,
interrupt
I'm-
anything, but at this
Oh.
point, we'll get back to it. At this point, immediately,
Okay.
you see the man immediately come up again. Please, everyone, as the music stops again. Everyone. Time is now. As he claps, music changes. Room starts opening up a little bit as it magically starts expanding with this ballroom in the center. Kind of drops down a little bit. Now is the time for the festivities to begin, as immediately lights of spectral orbs just start floating around, moving to a new path of music around the room as the king and the queen and some of the other nobles start going around dancing as the music and the crowd starts getting louder. And now it's harder for you to hear the people next to you. You can hear who's in the booth with you, but now perception checks are going to be more difficult.
mhm.
But continue.
I was going to say, you know, I'm not worried about me, but from what you've told me already, is there a position that's needed in the future or not? Trying to make him like second guess his job security.
Give me
pretty much.
another deception check with advantage.
Okay.
Poor guy's gonna have just a crisis of oh my God,
27.
It's just like, oh god, no, this can't be no. Immediately it goes into like straight hatred at this. No, this can't happen. We need to know what's going on there.
I agree.
If only. And he starts going in his pockets and he's like, yes! And he really pulls out like he pulls out the scroll and he pulls out this little, like it's like a bracelet, but it goes around the palm of your hand. He's like hanging on it. If only I could get down there. And he immediately just like looks at it and it starts glowing. I could be there right now. He starts slowly trying to fit it over his hand. It's like I can just gotta think of the place as he starts rubbing the hand, as you start seeing it start to glow. Anything you want to do?
Can I do an insight check on the artifact that he's putting on his hand?
You can give me an insight check, sure.
Okay. I don't know if Gramps wants to do something.
Do you want to do anything, Gramps?
Oh.
Sorry, it froze. What are you doing, Sid?
So I did an insight check on the little object he pulled out of his pocket and put on his hand that's starting to glow, and he said that he just has to visualize where he wants to go.
Gramps is gonna assume this is some sort of teleportation thing and like start to extend a hand to like touch. And then just like look at Fig like, is this right?
And I'm gonna see him, and I'm just gonna like slightly nod no, like slightly.
Slowly put my hand
down.
And I'm gonna be like, I am gonna mention to him, I was like, so you have a way?
With your insight check, before he responds, you can tell that the bracelet itself allows you to, based on context, gives you the ability to teleport somewhere. You don't understand how it necessarily works, but based off what he's saying, it sounds like he has to picture a place and he can get transported to it.
Okay.
And it looks like he needs to physically wear in it. But then you immediately say that, and he kind of like opens up his eyes. He's like, God dang it. This, he looks at it and kind of, the glow starts going away. I know that they're right beneath us. If I could just get there, I could see what's going on. I need to know what's happening down there.
Didn't you see where they went?
Well, I saw them go down that door, but that doesn't really help me. I mean,
put two together.
Well, I get it. They're beneath me, but I want to be in that room. I need to.
Well, if you know where the door is, can't you visualize where the door is? And I'm guessing your artifact there is a very handy-dandy way of travel.
Steal it.
You're right. And he immediately starts rubbing on. He starts closing his eyes again. As you start slowly seeing him turn more corporeal, like less corporeal, as he slowly starts like rubbing the eye, and he starts getting more invisible and more invisible.
Do we have a deal, though, that you will port back? I'd like to. I'm very fascinated myself.
And he disappears. Not a response.
You.
Oh, that's fine.
Oh, wait, no, I guess Carver would know that.
You immediately hear a large thud on the other side of the room. Like, immediately you see the two guards by the false door. What the hell was that? As they start kind of like investigating the false door.
I'm just gonna smirk, and this is like the first time most people have seen Fig smirk. I'm sure it's gonna actually like freak out people, but I'm gonna smirk.
Herman just gonna chill.
Is Fig drunk?
Like,
No.
Is Fig sick?
What's happening?
While this
And
is
then
going on, you see that they're checking out the door, and at this point, they have left their post, and they're not guarding anymore right now. As they start checking the door and they open it, and you immediately see someone running on the steps as they go in and chase, as they close the door behind them.
Exactly what I needed. Sorry, Fig's is a little bit of a devious, like a mad, genius, but that's okay.
Fig smirks. Cargrim's gonna be like, "Are you okay? There's something going on with your face."
Yeah.
Fix your
Oh.
face, Big.
It's just things are working out just exactly how they should be.
Oh, okay. All right. Are you sure? Because your face. No. Okay.
Don't worry. Don't worry. There's a moment that I'm amused.
Anything else that you two want to do?
I'm gonna kind of fill in Gramps on it. So if he finds he's mad, he's upset, he's not thinking rational, he just busts his way down to the hive to see what it is going on down there. He is pursued by the guards, so that area is not guarded anymore. Depending on how long it takes them to bring him back or him to come back, that depends on how far down this place would be. And
Gotcha.
if he is allowed back with just as a regular guest, he might have some information to give back afterwards, because he is not thinking in the rational mind right now. He's thinking he wants his job security.
Fig, that's why we keep you around.
I imagine that Gramps go for like the bro hug and he's like, no.
Like the aggressive arm over the shoulder, where like they almost knock you over when they do it. Like, oh, jeez, okay.
Get the clap on the back.
So now all we need to do is somehow get a message to other people in our group of what's going on.
Oh, got it. And then wait.
Is there any like paper on the table?
Oh, he left
At all?
like 3 scrolls there.
Okay, well, I'm gonna snatch his. I'm gonna look at his scrolls too while we're here.
Okay.
Do I need to do an investigation?
I mean, if you don't look at them, they're right in front of you. You don't really need to give me investigation. You can just look right at
Okay.
them. One scroll is specifically the ownership rights to Darvin Asselbeck.
Okay.
And specifically his location.
You own a slave.
Another one is specifically the ownership of a stable over. I'm sorry, not a stable, a ship outside. It's the deed for the ship itself.
All right.
And
That's mine now.
the last
So
thing,
is the
and the
other
last
one.
thing is the contract. The contract is specifically for. I gotta say this right, so I don't say it out of order. It is to find and apprehend after they've completed their objective, Phalaris Fakari and the Madam. In quotes, make sure they
Interesting.
finish their objective first, then apprehend second.
Interesting. Cartman, do you have a bag of holding, or is it only
I
Elb?
do, but I don't think I would have had it with me.
It's just a piece of. I don't know. Would they have it on them?
Would I?
Or
Yeah, it's not
Their
a
bag
weapon,
of
so you could
holding?
have it. Yeah.
Okay.
we're just gonna stuff these scrolls in there.
Okay.
Yeah, here.
Now we own a ship.
Well, it doesn't give you the right to
Look at
own the
that.
ship. It's just a deed. Like, if you have a house, you don't automatically get the rights to the house just by stealing someone's deed
Right.
to it. It's just like the name's still under him, but you have his deed to the.
But
to
I
the
know
right
what he
place.
looks like
You know what he looks like.
and
yes.
talks like.
Correct.
Just for my own notes, I know I'm not there. Does the boat have a name?
The boat is.
So I can write it down.
For your pop
For the quiz.
plates.
The boat is the ship is the Shield of Iraq, ARK,
Shield of Iraq.
ARAK, the Shield of Iraq.
Interesting. Did he leave anything else while he's sitting? While he
Just his drink.
disappeared?
Gold.
Just his drink.
I
Yeah.
will graciously
Go
take
ahead.
it for him.
Go ahead.
All right.
Such a nice guy.
Back to Celeste. Oh, Celeste is not there.
He went to go let the pup out.
All right, back to Hal. So, what are you doing?
I was going to get a drink and then go to the board. So
Okay.
that's what I was doing.
So there are drinks
guess-
being passed around if you want to grab one of
While
those
I'm
drinks.
doing that, is there anybody from the party I see on my way there?
From your team?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you would, if you, unless you wanted to stop, you would have actually crossed paths with Celeste.
Okay.
And you would have essentially run, I guess, no, you would have just seen Celeste.
Okay.
What
I
about
probably
Angie,
would've-
who is against is bartending?
I'm not counting Angie right now because I don't want to play as Angie, so I'm
Okay.
just going to say no.
Sure. I would have gave maybe Celeste a head nod just to try
Okay.
to get her attention. Like that. Try to get an eye contact. Just kind of let her know where I'm going.
Okay.
Things like that. In case I need a bailout.
You need a wingman, you know,
Or wing woman.
a wingman for your wings.
Oh,
Oh, you muted. There you go.
would we been able to write a note while we were still sitting there?
If you want to write it on one of the scrolls.
I don't want to tear any pieces of the scroll.
All the deeds about.
I'll wait until the waiter comes back around.
Okay, the waiter's passing by a lot. You can grab their attention pretty easily.
Okay, I'm gonna ask them if they have a piece of paper and a quill.
Okay, they pass you a quill and paper.
I'm gonna write down a note and say, please, and I pull out a piece of gold out of my pocket to get this to the actual what is your name right now, Al? I don't know what you're being called.
She just thinks she's just a seer.
But everybody's just keeping their name. You can just
Okay.
say it's you.
Just the seer.
To the seer and their guardian, pretty much. And please do not open.
Oh,
If you can get it back faster, you'll have another piece of gold for it.
Well, what do you want back? Do you want me to just deliver this, or do you want me to
Just
bring
deliver it.
some- Oh,
Just deliver it.
right away. And immediately takes the gold, and immediately goes beeline straight over to L.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll say in the chat what the note said. I
Alright.
can say it later when we get back to my time.
All right. Back over to the seer and Corbin. So
Yay.
a couple of people would have passed at this point because we're not going to go over each individual person you see. At this point, someone would arrive, drop something off the Corbin as a note from the gentleman over at the other booth. A couple
Do you
people
want me to
passed.
explain what the note said?
If you
real
want
quick? I can. It's just going to pretty much quickly in Thieves' Cant pretty much say what happened and what we're waiting for, and is to see if this guy comes back, and to say also that the door is unguarded now.
Cool. Corbin doesn't know thieves can't, so this is just a bunch of scribbles on a piece of paper. So,
But the seer
but the
does.
seer does, yes.
Seer does. Yep.
So when the time is right, Corbin's gonna pass it to.
So to Allura, you
And
get
at
the
the
next person in line. You can give me a perception check or investigation check, perception check with advantage to see if you can notice details about them.
Okay, perception with advantage.
28. Okay.
Yeah.
This one is another female. This one is a little bit more business proper than straight teen elegance. Her hair is curled up in a braid and kind of laid over the shoulder. It's really long with the braid down. It's almost going a little bit past her cleavage. She's wearing a long, full black dress, tightened with a corset. More athletically built. Almost like the main thing that you notice about her is her eyes are like straight silver. She is an elf. Looks more wood elf than high elf due to the points in the ears and a little bit of the fade of the complexion. But she immediately looks like she's done this before. She immediately comes over, sits down, already puts a gold into the jar. So,
What does detect thoughts give me?
Detect Thoughts gives you that she specifically wants to figure out something about Allura.
Mm.
She has played this game before, and she's trying to figure out if Laura's a fake or not.
Well, then Corbin's gonna move his tail downward, which signifies that it's none of the options that Alora gave him earlier.
Okay.
What else do I notice about her?
Okay,
Or
so
did I see her earlier with any companions, talking to anybody?
you have not
focusing?
seen. This is someone you did not see earlier, or if you saw them earlier, did not pay enough attention to them. She is not hiding anything on her body. She's almost fully tattooed, at least in her upper torso. Since her specific dress is just a halter top, everything from the skin, shoulders, arms, sleeves, chest is fully tattooed, even as a neck sleeve. It seems to all follow a certain pattern. It's very religious in nature, and this part, you have no idea what it means. You can just see that. You could assume, based on the way it looks, it's more maybe demonic than more Advent. And you could assume, I'll tell you what, give me an insight check. Give me an insight check, because she is a hard read. Oh my god, natural 20. Okay.
Ooh.
So even though you do not understand how the tattoos work, you can very much understand that the tattoos are a mixture for two reasons, based off just the patterns themselves and maybe the artistic style they go for. One, it seems like it gives her some kind of seduction enhancement, like a way to seduce any gender to her advantage without having to put too much of her own charisma involved. Two, is it looks like they might give her more athletic prowess. Maybe not specifically like I can be stronger, but more or less maybe it's like her, like gives her like a more steroid kind of boost. Basically, kind of making her, you know, boss in the sheets, boss in the streets.
Power suit.
Pretty much. She obviously is only out for number one, and she specifically looks like she's out to basically screw everybody else. As far as maybe any kind of signs you could kind of tell, maybe what you could maybe read off of her, is you could tell that she is, her power that she gains is from some dark god. But because you don't have any religious experience, this is not as obvious as the last one. So, that's what I can give you.
Would I gain anything if I wanted to try and do an Arcana check on the tattoos to see if they're magical, or is it pretty much established that they're magical?
I will tell you what, you tell me how you want to give me an Arcana check, because you can't physically touch her.
That's fair. I was just wondering if I could, like, notice if there was any, like, deliberate, like, arcane symbols, like, as part of the tattoo.
Are you proficient with Arcana?
I am.
Okay, I'll tell you what, you can give me a regular Arcana check. No advantage, no disadvantage, just a standard 1-for-1.
Okay. Might as well, right? Doesn't hurt. 13.
13. Through a first scope, you don't really notice anything specific that grabs your attention, but then you notice, like, as it goes, like, there's a few tattoos in the arm, a few tattoos at the lower, a few tattoos on the hand, then a few tattoos going up the arm, and then about, like, just between lower arm and the elbow, and then a little bit upper, there is the symbols that basically relate in magical terms to sacrifice. Basically use that if you're a necromancer, use these specific kind of runes to not sacrifice any of your own energy, but you sacrifice something else and you absorb everything that they have. So like you kill somebody and then use those runes and then you basically absorb everything that is their power.
Okay. Yeah, Corbin also just is more like looking at it because he does intend to get a magical tattoo at some point, so it's more of like an admiration, like, oh, bro, where'd you get your ink done? Then
these are very much tattoos that the only way to get them on you is not by getting ink, but having someone actually enchant you with them. Like a tattooist can't give them to you, but like the demon that you summon can actually grant them to you.
Cool, not what Corbin wants.
But it sounds like they want to steal. They want to steal something from Elle.
So she's sitting there. So I'm assuming you want me to touch the orb?
I kind of smile at her, and I lean close. and I say, you're not here for money, or your future, or love. You know you're here for a specific reason. You don't want to know your future. And I grab her wrist and lean really close to her and say, shadows swirl around you. There's a face beneath yours looking out. Speak plainly. What do you want to know?
She looks at you as her silver eyes immediately turn crimson. As she looks back at you, as you felt like you were intimidating her, but that only kind of warmed her up a little bit more. As you swear to God, her face, only really to you, looks like it starts taking the shape of, like, the purest demon. Like, it starts turning a little red, horns start popping out. She looks at you. As she immediately takes your hand, and she immediately pulls it in, and she grabs it.
Elle's slightly freaking out on the inside, going, holy shit, there's
And,
an actual face on the interior of hers. I was just kidding. Why is this happening?
I was gonna say, as the butler to the, can I try and interpose between the two of them, like
It is your job.
protecting her?
Yeah, it's your job.
It's your job.
It is my job to protect the seer, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna interpose
hold
between.
The hand up to Corbin for a moment.
Okay.
I
Corbin.
want to know what she's gonna do.
Are you
next.
sure?
Okay. All right. So, Corbin, you don't
Everyone,
touch.
hold your breath.
I do get closer, but I don't directly I'm
All right.
honoring the wishes of my
Alora,
mistress.
Give me a charisma saving throw.
Ah, come on.
Okay.
You're so charismatic.
Really quick, I think I have plus to saving throws. Let me just browse.
Let me just pray.
That's okay, I'm just gonna go. I should have looked it up beforehand. Charisma, you said?
Correct.
So
Ooh, don't be bad. 18.
that's pretty good.
As she looks at you, staring into your eyes as if she's reversing the role without needing any assist, she's looking into you. You are not as you seem. As she pulls in without blinking, your arm a little bit tighter as she's grasping your arm. Now, give me a Constitution saving throw.
Fuck.
Don't like this woman.
Are you sure you don't want me to step in?
17?
As you're able to resist a little bit of pain, but you can't break the grasp of her hand, she looks at you. She just kind of stares in as you just feel a pull come in from her, like some kind of energy that's just kind of like, first you were just kind of like, it's just another person, and then all of a sudden you feel entranced by whatever she's doing to you. You can't blink your eyes. Your eyes even start getting dry. As you're just staring into her crimson eyes, as you just start feeling a pull.
Corbin's gonna put his hand on the woman's shoulder and ask to kindly release his mistress.
She looks back at you. Of course. She lets go. Immediately, Laura, you just kind of blink. You know, like the really hard blink, like you haven't blinked in like 2 minutes, so you've got to really like rub the eyes, kind of like that.
And then he's gonna go over and make sure Alora's okay.
Alora, you are shaking. You are in straight fear. You don't know what you're afraid of, but there's something about her that straight terrifies you. She kind of steps up with elegance, kind of switches her braid over to the other side. Well, that was illuminating. Takes out another gold, put it in the jar. I believe we'll meet
Shrink
again
back.
as she walks off.
So she'll be the first to die. No kidding.
I turn to Corbin and kind of whisper, I don't want to be by her. I don't like her. There's something underneath her skin, and it's demonic, and it's scary, and her eyes turned red, and I don't
I
like it.
tried to protect you and you said no.
A couple of people after her
play my
decides to
part.
leave the line, almost thinking like, okay, maybe she's not the real McCoy, kind of thing like that, out of this. As a few people leave out of line, the next person up in line immediately walks forward. As you see, a familiar sight is, well, I don't know what's scaring them off, but I'm willing to give it a go. As you immediately see a familiar fire genasi sit down in the seat.
I buddy.
Takes off the sword
Hey,
off his
friend.
back and just leans it up against the bar. Interesting to see you here, but puts out his hand. I'm up for a go.
Detect thoughts. We're keeping this train. We're keeping this train going.
Which one is this?
This is
Who
Virgil.
this again?
It's Virgil.
Oh, okay.
The one who got denied by Celeste. So he's probably
Oh,
thinking
okay.
about love.
Denied.
He's probably thinking about love.
You do detect thoughts, and you hear nothing. Like, all you hear is just almost kind of like a void of no sound.
Static.
Yeah. Like you hear just a slight, a slight light sound, but no verbal communication.
Like white noise.
Pretty much. You know that the only people that can really do that are people that are being protected by the gods, where their thoughts
Okay.
cannot be used against them.
Okay. I
Sits
think
da-
Corbin's gonna keep his tail down for neither.
He looks at you. So, this is not what I expected from you. I didn't know that you're also a seer too.
I dabble
very
here and there in
intimidated.
things.
I mean,
Are
where's
you being sarcastic?
where's your friend? Weren't you friends with that dwarf looking around?
I wasn't able to make it. This
Oh.
is
That's a shame.
something I do.
I was hoping to find your friend.
Not
I had
very
something to give to
often.
them. Huh, that's all right.
I can
Well-
pass the message along.
No, it's kind of something just for them, but it's all right. Puts out his hands. So, do I just touch the orb? What do you want me to do?
Don't touch the orb. I'm just gonna be like, no.
Oh, I'm sorry.
The
Gonna do your creepy voice still, or is it booming or anything? Or
oh
is it
no,
not?
there's whispers. I'm just
Okay.
Put your hands out like this.
Okay,
And
so
I'm
he
gonna
puts his
put my
hands out.
over his.
Okay, you definitely feel the
And
heat coming from his hands. Like not enough to burn you, but you feel the putting your hands above a grill without touching them.
Yes, sweaty palms.
I miss my Genasi.
I'm gonna look at him. I'm gonna close my eyes for a minute. I'm gonna take a deep breath. I'm gonna open them again and say, you know as well as I do your goddess protects you. There are bits, pieces I can see. She hides. She keeps you dark from me. I
That can't be
know-
right. Try it again. Try it again. Try it again. That doesn't sound like her at all. Try it again. Try it again. Please.
She knows. I know of her. She knows. And I'm gonna look at him worried. She knows me. She knows my family. Why does she ask about Koa?
He kind of looks up in the corner, looks back down at you. She tells me to stop lying. Try it again.
I'm gonna smile. I'm gonna say, knew you could talk to her. And I'm gonna whisper to him. And I'm going to say the dwarf is here.
Oh yeah,
I know
where is he at?
Do I know where he is right now, Cargrim?
I mean, you would know because he's you would
he's probably the only dwarf in the room.
well, no, not that, but you and Fig were able to clock like everybody at a consistent basis throughout the place.
Okay. So I'm gonna whisper this to him, and I'm gonna tell him to keep his voice down. There are others with unsavory intents here, and if they knew who his goddess was, and I'm thinking of the scary demonic lady, then he could potentially be in trouble. And I'm gonna tell him where Cargrim is. I'm gonna tell him go find him.
Oh,
Warn him of the demonic lady. Give him your message,
Okay.
and your goddess still hides.
Oh.
See
Well, you
that
mind if I
last
take your
part?
hand for a second? Just humor me.
I give him my hand.
Okay. He grabs it. He gently caresses it as you immediately see a vision of Elasna in your head. And you see where she's resting at this current point. And you immediately see her floating above Alair Valerian's throne. You now see an obvious fact that she's hiding in plain sight. The statues that represent Elasna and Gladlin that are beside her are actually their tombs.
That's very Rin.
It is.
As you suddenly feel a warm glow, as you see just the face of Elasna looking at you, and just points down. And then just immediately disappears into a flame of embers. As he stands up, once again, it's been a pleasure, but as you said, I must make haste over to your... What was his name again? I'm sorry, I'm terrible with names. Cargrim. Beautiful. Well, Laura, it's been a pleasure, as he kind of kisses the hand and then he just backs off with what seems like more confidence than what he had with Celeste. She turns around and immediately heads off with a stride after he grabs his sword.
I'm assuming, like, during this whole time, I was just completely spaced out. So when he released my hand, I'm gonna shake my head and step back and kind of wipe some tears from my eyes.
Okay.
Also, if Corbin, because obviously he can't really leave Elle's side, but if there's like a wait staff, he would like to at least get Elle some water to help kind of calm her down.
Okay.
Like,
all right.
He doesn't want to leave to go get it, so he's hoping that he could at least flag someone down.
There would be
like,
naturally like an actual
water, tea,
water
something
decanter
more.
there that's actually there for her.
Okay. Well, then Corbin's going to pour her a glass of water.
Sure.
Take it with, like, shaky hands.
And he's just gonna, like, when she grabs the glass, he's just gonna put, like, his hands over hers to, like, help, like, reassure her that she's fine.
Are you gonna give the note?
Oh, yeah. No, yeah, he's gonna, like, slide the note in as he, like, cups her.
Okay. All right.
Can we take a break?
Sure, we can take a break. Yeah,
Okay.
let's take a 10-minute bathroom break.
Yeah.
Yay.
Take that.
All right, we're back. So we'll go to Hal.
Yeah.
You're making your way back over to Boris.
Making my way.
Making my way. You just see him sitting there after making some deals, and he's just kind of. The snake is done coiling around. You just see that he was like eating on some kind of flesh pellets of some kind that he left out for him. As Boris is just kind of sitting at the edge of the table, has his cane sticking out as the snake is slowly wrapping around his hand, but half the coil is still on the table. Ah, Hal, you made it. As he takes the cane and takes the edge and pushes the cask of a second cask of ale over to the side of the table. Please sit. As he puts his cane back to his side.
I'll go. Thanks for the offer. I got my own beverage. Thank you, though. I appreciate it.
Ah, well. Then he takes the cane, he slides that back over. More for me.
Well,
Either way,
yes.
sit.
I'll cheers him. Cheers, Steve.
Cheers. As he takes up the hand that still has the snake coiling around, and he gives you a cheers, and he immediately just starts chugging as the snake then now starts connecting around to like his neck and starts continuing on. As the snake wrapping around his body phases him not even a little bit. So, we were talking about
It was the call to the fallen.
you were looking we seem to have a few things in common. You were inquiring about Tell's Manor and wondering about Cult of the Following. I have some information for you if you would like it, but knowledge costs money, or at least knowledge in itself.
Okay.
Obviously, you are not one to part with your creature, and I can respect that, so I won't put that on the table, so don't worry about that at all. But I do have a specific task that I feel well, let's just say I'm embarrassed to say I'm kind of at a standstill where I can't proceed any further. But
Interesting.
if I could get a third party involved, I feel like it could go through a lot smoother. You want some information from me? I'd be happy to facilitate for a small favor. What do you think?
It sounds like a proposition I could get involved in. What did you have in mind?
Well, I know about the Cult of Fallen. I know about Hell's Manor. The reason why I know is because I've been to both. As he starts kind of like spinning his cane around, as the snake is now fully kind of like wrapping around a little bit around his waist, kind of going down to his leg, and starts crawling back up into like his cloak, kind of going to sleep over and like behind him. As it kind of like sneaks up, and you just see like the little head poke out of his sleeve. It's just kind of like resting its head on his hand.
I'm going to put my own hand, or maybe just a reassurance for Eos, just to nurture him a little bit.
Okay.
Hang on, he's okay. Because he's probably on my shoulder.
Because they know me, there's an item I need from them, and I can't get close enough to get it. Unfortunately, they know who I am, and well, let's say I'm not their favorite person in this world. They know enough about me to know to stay a good distance away. You already are going to go in that direction, from what I understand, and if you want this information, while you're there, I need you to procure something for me. I'm putting this into your court because you're getting the information before I get my piece. Trusting that if you want this info, trusting that you're going to take care of it and you bring it back to me. If you can bring this item back to me, I'll even have something in store for the rest of it, just as an incentive to make sure that maybe as an extra obligation to come back.
Sounds like a good proposition.
The Fallen have an item. A very powerful item. He pulls out a scroll, kind of unveils it across the table as you see a schematic of something that was built. It looks like a mechanic. It looks like a large orb, but it looks more mechanical than magical in nature. Like it looks like almost kind of like a Rubik's Rubik's cube, but as an actual orb itself. Like it reshapes itself to whatever someone needs it to do. See, it says different parts. One of a kind. They contracted me to make this for them, and I did. But I didn't know what they could do with it, and it is a lot more important than what I thought. I don't care what they're doing with it, I just want it back. I offered them money, but they're not willing to give it back to me, even for the highest cost. If you can bring me back this orb, I'll sweeten the deal. I'll let you choose something from my armory. I'll let you choose between 3 items of my choice. You pick one, and we're all good. If you want another job, I can help you out. Maybe you need something from me to help you out. We can go on from there. But for this point, seems like you already got the Bloodhound sent out for something with the Fallen. I'll need to know what. I don't need to know why. If you're trying to help them, if you're trying to kill them, it's none of my business. Honestly, I don't want to know. But you grab that orb for me. We're in business. So what do you say?
Could I ask what the orb does? Just out of one Beastmaster to another?
Well, I mean, I'll tell you what it's supposed to do. The orb itself is supposed to trap souls.
Oh.
As it constantly operates, when someone is sacrificed, their essence goes in here. But the orb itself is only supposed to have a max capacity of 3, making it very limited. There's many other objects in this world that can capture souls. Somehow, some way, the Fallen have been able to increase its max capacity to 999 to its maximum capacity. I don't know how they did this, and realistically, I'm not a magician. I'm never going to be one. I'm not going to recreate their technique. I'm not going to spend time trying to do it. So I want it back. So, now, if you feel like you want to take the extra step and figure out how they did this and bring me the schematics back of how they did it, I'll sweeten the pot. You get 2 items out of my cellar. But I don't expect you to do that, because if you're already going to be able to steal the item, good luck trying to get the schematics of how they made it work. So, he puts out his hand again. Do you have an accord?
I guess, can I insight check him to see if he is trying to be deceiving me at all, or if he's being genuine or something like that?
Sure, yeah, insight check.
I remember this whole try to charm me. I want to get charmed off my ass. I'm gonna use a lucky point, because that was...
Okay.
And you said that was a... what check?
Insight.
Oh, for the insight? 12.
I mean, he clearly looks like he's in it for himself. Whether he's lying, I mean, like, he's very, very truthful. He wants the item back. Does he have some extra thing that he's not telling you? Very much yes. Does it seem like it's gonna fuck you up? Probably not.
Okay, I'll shake it.
Okay. Shake his hand. You feel another energy passing through you. It doesn't seem like it's charming you, but it seems like maybe he's doing his version of a blessing on you.
Oh.
You have no idea how it works. He's not even telling you he's doing it. Just shakes your hand, puts the other hand upon you. I have faith that this will be done. And he pulls you in. And if not, farewell, good friend. As he shakes your hand, he steps up. But I must have other business to attend to. Taps the cane on the ground. Good luck. As he walks off and starts shaking babies and kissing hands around the place.
Okay. Fair enough.
I like it.
That was scary shit, but okay.
Celeste,
Yes.
what would you like to be doing?
How close am I to Hal right now?
You're not that far from the booth that Boris just left. You're probably about like 30 feet away. You can see Hal.
Okay. Can Hal see me still?
I mean, Hal clocked you earlier. Whether or not he's still actively looking at you is different, but he did see you, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Andrew told me he saw, but I just want to make sure like he still sees that I'm there. And the main ball's still going on.
Yeah, dancing is going on. More waitstaff is going around passing around drinks. More people are now sitting down in booths making private affairs, having private business affairs, but there's no curtains that close it, so you can still see things. Like if you were able to read lips, you'd still be able to hear everything that's going on.
Okay. So I'm gonna do the one thing that I promised I would do, and go get NG
Okay.
and do the dance.
Your best.
Sexy
make
dance.
Your best.
just to make sure that's taken care of.
I'm not
And
gonna play as NG. We're just gonna say this is gonna happen. And
Awkward party boy.
I wanted, since Hal clocked me earlier, I'm gonna try to stay within like ear's reach, or as close as I can.
okay. So you're not by Hal. You're just dancing, and you're just trying to make sure you can listen to Hal.
Or like if anything comes up, I'm not like leaving Hal.
Got
high
it.
wind.
Got it. Okay, cool. Cool.
Oh, no!
All right. To Fig and Kargrim.
Also have the beer back.
Okay. I just kind of move closer to Gargum and go, well, we have plenty of options here.
Yeah.
There's plenty of opportunity now that there are a set of guards gone for me to do my thing and change.
Yeah, I don't think dude's gonna come back.
True.
So I think that'd probably be your best bet.
The only thing is, these fine clothes, we did promise the one person that we would not ruin them, and if I try to change in this, I will ruin these clothes. So that means either finding a secret, like a very secret little area to change, or if there is a restroom, or if there's something else to change. And then I would need you to hold on to these clothes until I was done.
Got it. Okay. Perception check to see if I can see anything from where we're at.
Okay.
Woohoo!
Ooh, a 20. Not nat.
Ooh.
Dirty
Yay.
20. All right. Each booth that you're
So
in
dirty.
is not like fully exposed, but I guess best way to put it, like if you're at like a certain restaurant and some of the booths are kind of like in walls where they're not fully exposed, you got to kind of like go directly at them. You can see, and there's no light source in them, so the light source is only from the outside. So technically, the only really spot Fig could change is if the light source was being blocked, and there'd be just no light in the room.
I can
Okay.
cast darkness, but that would be very obvious to just have a very dark spot.
But is there like a restroom anywhere either?
There is a restroom, but you would have nowhere to store your clothes.
Ye old privy.
Heel
Yeah.
hole in the ground.
It's not like a, you go to one and there's multiple stalls or anything like that.
There's
No. So it would be a lads and lasses room, and it would be just individual. Like once you go in there, it would be individual half exposed stalls. So they'd be like waist down exposed.
Or you mean waist up exposed?
No,
maybe?
like
I don't know.
No, like you could see the
You see
actual.
the dick
Oh,
out
okay.
face.
Okay. Yeah. No worries. I get it. All right.
No pants party.
so. Wait, so these are like multiple people go in the bathroom at the same time? bathroom situations, or it's like a single stall?
No, it's multiple
Single
people.
use.
Multiple people.
This whole session, that's what we're concerned about. Is
Yeah,
these
pretty much.
bathrooms.
Yeah. Well,
Hold on now. Is there like as you walk in?
Which way does the door
in
open?
relation
Is there how many
where-
vanities are there? Come on, let's paint a picture
Is
here.
there a
Is
powder
this-
room? Is there not a powder room?
Is this 2-ply toilet paper or?
All right. No. Let me.
Stop. Okay, the reason why we were trying to decide is because if we could both go into the same restroom if it was a multiple one, and then I could just hand him my clothes. He could leave before me. I could change into the guard, and then come out of the restroom.
Right.
So I would also say the problem is that you haven't seen a single guard go in the restroom.
Oh, that's true. Damn. Okay.
The guards don't go to the bathroom.
They don't.
I guess not. Maybe they have catheters. I don't know.
Ugh.
But
Suddenly, this conversation.
okay, so then maybe
There's no shadowy areas that we would.
So
have to
there's
get
like
rid
I
of.
said, there's a shadowy area in each spot that you're in. So okay. How can I? Let me draw it up.
I just need to find a shadowy area so that I
A single light source. Obviously, we can't get rid of that. But if there's like multiple tiny light sources with opportunities of making their own shadows, we could probably get away with dimming
Pictionary
one
with the
of those
DM.
or blocking it.
yeah.
Like I said, I could cast darkness
All right,
if you
so-
come over
No,
by
no.
If you guys
no.
can kind of see what I'm drawing here, I know it's very
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah.
So
Oh, I get it.
there is a wall here. There's only one opening into the actual room that you guys have. That's actually the couch. So if you
Mhm.
guys went on to the left or the right, you're being hidden. There is no light
Okay.
source in there. You're only getting light from the actual party going in.
Okay. Okay. So then I can
Then,
just
yeah.
go. Yeah. I'll just go into one of the corners and pretty much
might-
take off these clothes.
So
We
just
might
give
know
me a
about
stealth
it.
check.
Huh?
Just give me a stealth
Stealth?
check. Yeah.
Okay. Well, good thing I get advantage on those.
Yeah.
31.
Not like you
All right,
needed
yeah,
it,
so-
but-
There's no reason for anybody to really be paying attention to you right now anyway. A lot of people are preoccupied doing their own things. You are kind of hiding. No one's actively looking in your direction. You're able to change out your outfit. No problem.
Okay.
You are
So-
nude for a little bit, but
Well. I'm a changeling, so it's not like I have like.
sure.
There's no. You don't see any parts. Like.
All the guards
You're a
are wearing the same
You're a
outfit.
mannequin.
All the guards are wearing the same outfit. They're wearing like almost like a fine leather armor.
Okay.
Draped down to roughly about their knee with
Okay.
large leather like pinned belts, and they all have about short swords, 2 short swords on each side and 1 pike.
Okay.
They have half helms, so their mouths are exposed, and they're all wearing scarves around their necks.
Okay. I changed into looking like one of those.
Okay.
Is there any guard that's just by himself? I know they're usually in sets of 2s, but
So no, there's currently none of them set by themselves, but one of the sets of 2s are the 2 guards that are constantly separating themselves when they're doing the figure 8 in the middle of the room. So
Okay.
they'll pass by each other every 5 minutes,
okay.
but between that 5 minutes, they are by themselves.
But are they? I want to time. Because how close is our booth to where that
Fake wall is.
is? It on the other side of the other side of the room, right?
From where you are, so it's directly on the opposite side of the room of Laura. From where you are, it's like you're halfway between Alora and that door.
Okay. Okay. So, would it be closer for me to go left or right?
It'd be closer
Which way?
for you to go
Honest
left.
guy. Okay. Okay. So I'm
You're
going
pretty close to the entrance. You're pretty close to
Okay.
the entrance.
So I'm gonna time it so that it doesn't make it look like I'm suspicious at all, but I'm gonna time it to watch where the guards are looking to a point, because from wearing this freaking helmet, you can only see forward. Like, you can't see on your side. You do not have peripheral vision.
All right.
You only have tunnel vision. So,
All right. Just roll me a dexterity check and then add your proficiency bonus.
Dex check. 10 plus it's 15. It would be 15.
Okay. So you are maneuvering around, taking account what the availability of sight is with these helms on, and yes, they are limited. You really only can see like that, and you're able to kind of move with them and make it so when one sees you, they think that they're seeing the other one, and you're able to constantly make your way through. And you're pretty close to actually making your way over to the spots where the two guards are missing as they went to go chase down your friend.
Okay. I'm going to stand in front by the door and then kind of like do the pressing thing with one of my hands behind my back.
Okay.
And then does the door open?
Okay. So you press and a little pressure goes in as the door sinks in and then slides to the side.
Okay. I'm just going to do a quick look inside.
You only see a spiral staircase leading down. You can only see about 20 feet due to the way it spirals.
Okay, and there's nobody in there?
Nope. But it is lit.
Okay, I'm going to step in and close the door.
Okay, so you step in, you push on the door slides over and then shifts back up. By the way, Alora, because your natural perception, you would be seeing this. I don't know if you probably wouldn't naturally know unless Fig would have told you. I don't think she did, or they did. But you did see a guard go in there. So you do see a spiral staircase now. The staircase itself is pretty tight. So it's not like a large... It's like if you were in a castle tower staircase. It's gonna wrap around more in a circle than straight down in a row.
Okay. And because my amulet is in tune to me, that means all of my clothing and everything feels like true clothing and everything. Yep. Correct? Okay. All right, sounds good. And I would also have what looks like weapons on me, but they probably aren't truly weapons, right?
No, they can't be used as real weapons.
Yeah, but they look like ones.
Right. Because you currently weren't holding any weapons, you got nothing to substitute from, but if you were like, let's say you were naturally holding a sword, you could actually attack the pike as if it was your sword in your hand. Kind of like that.
That makes sense. Okay. So I'm going to just start to slowly walk down. Kind of still look like I'm walking like a normal soldier. I'm going to listen to see if I hear anything as I'm going.
All right. First, give me a stealth check, then give me a perception check.
Okay.
29 for stealth.
And perception, you said?
Mm-hmm.
Don't be suspicious.
25. All right, so you are not having any problems making any sounds in here. The floor themselves is not like stone by any means. It's actually kind of more of like it's stone. It's like a marble, but it's covered with an actual like crimson carpet. So there's like really no way to really make sound unless you're really clumsy. But you're listening around and you're currently not hearing anything. But you do hear that there's also another set of music down here that changes the tone. And eventually you make your way down the steps. It only takes you down like 2 floors. So you find out it doesn't actually take you down to floor 9. You can basically assume it takes you down to floor 8. As there was no turn-off point to get off the floor 9. But you feel like you went down so much stairs that if you just counted them in your head, you would have had to go down 2 floors, not 1.
Okay.
As you get down, you find yourself into like a long lobby corridor. Currently nobody's in it.
Okay. Does it look like there's any spots where soldiers would post?
Yes. So the room itself is a long rectangular room. You're coming in from if you're looking at a bird's eye view, you're coming in from the bottom side. There's a double door all the way at the top. And there's 2 sets of doors on the left and right. It looks like the guards naturally had posts on these spots in the middle on the left and right between the 2 side doors, but they're currently not there.
Okay. I'm going to post near a door so I can listen to see if I can hear anything.
Okay, which door do you want to go by?
Let's start with the right.
Okay, so you go by the door. The door is currently closed. If you want to listen in, give me a perception check.
Listening. Perception. 22.
Okay. You hear a current debate going on right now as you hear two gentlemen talking to a familiar voice. How'd you get down here? I'll let you talk about. I'm just looking for the bathroom. What do you want? We know you snuck down here. What do you want? As you can clearly see that they caught him and they're currently trying to figure out how he got down here.
Is it the guards? Like it sound like guards or like?
I mean, it
actual
sounds
other
like an authority of some kind, but you
Okay.
never actually listen to the guards talk.
Okay. Okay, so then I'm going to walk over to the other door
On the right
and
side still?
listen. Yeah, I'll just keep. I'm gonna try to listen to all the doors that are closed.
Okay, I'll let you keep on the same perception check since nothing's really changed for you so far.
Okay.
You're listening to this door. You don't hear any sound inside. No one's talking. Nothing is moving. You don't hear anything on the other side of the door. Not like it's like completely empty. It's just nothing's happening.
Okay. I'm gonna move on to the next door.
Okay, to double doors. Now I need you to give me another perception check, just because these are bigger doors. There's a larger room behind.
I'm gonna try to, or can I go to the other side of the room first and listen to all the little doors before I
All
do
right,
the double
then I'll let you
doors?
keep the same check.
Okay.
So you're going over to the other doors. I'm gonna have you go into the first door closest to the way you came in. You're listening to that one.
I'm gonna still stand where like it would look like if
You were
someone
on
came
duty?
out of the doors, I was on duty. Yeah.
Okay. So, what time does your shift start? A couple hours. Yours? I don't start till the after thing. They're gonna have me clean up afterwards. Tough luck. Sounds like it's people switching guard shifts. And this is their
Okay.
break room.
Okay. Okay. All right. Move to the next one.
Next door. Listen in. It does sound quiet, but in this purpose, you hear almost a sound of wind, like a window's open.
Interesting.
You hear the sound of curtains kind of moving a little bit. And you hear just a little bit, not like of a howl of like a creature, but like just the wind kind of howling into the room.
Interesting. Wind in a cave. Interesting. All right. Moving on to the double doors then, or if that was
Yeah,
the
so
only
double
two
doors is the next one. Yeah, so now you gotta give me a
Okay.
perception check.
We will do that.
17.
Oh, that was not
So
as
you
good.
listen
Damn.
into double doors. This one clearly sounds like there's a bigger room to it. It's hard to hear the dialect due to maybe the distance of way of where the people are.
Mm-hmm.
You're hearing a little bit of back and forth, but details are far and few between. You gotta get closer.
Okay. Can I step closer to the door and try
You,
again?
I'll let you try again, but you're really as close to the door as possible. 16 is
that's
lower.
worse. Damn.
Unfortunately, your
Okay.
DC is 20, so if you want to do it again, your DC now is 20, so if you want to try it again, you're gonna at least have to get 20 to succeed.
Damn. Okay. Why not? We'll try again. Why not?
Okay.
If it goes worse, it goes worse.
23.
Ah!
All right.
Haha!
So you really just kind of press up your ears against the door, trying to be as quiet as possible to listen in. As you hear a few voices in debate. As you hear the familiar voice of Revis. We've had enough of this. We've lost our patience. We've put you in the seat of power for a reason. You don't want anything to do with my father, and we let that be. But we have nothing back to show for it. As you can hear Paris talking back. I don't know what you want from me. I delivered everything you wanted. I made a handshake deal
Here.
with your friend Valeris. I gave them the tools that they need. They're taking care of the curse with the plague out in the northern quadrant. What more do you want? You're not following through. We need you to do more. We didn't put all these pieces in the puzzle just for you just to sit back and deal with it. As you hear the more robotic voice of Renard step up. Money was spent. We threw a little bit here, a little bit there. And now we're getting problems from even that one group that's walking around. If it was even for us, they wouldn't even exist. They're walking around, they're asking too many questions. What are you going to do about it? Well, I put a bounty on there. What's up?
Sorry, I was just going to ask, so it's the Dawn talking to the two other people, right?
Yep.
Okay. Just making sure. I couldn't remember what the Dawn's name was, so that's why.
Yep.
Okay.
I already put a bounty out for their heads. Well, clearly that's not working. Feel like we need to take this up a step. I need you to do something, as you can hear something hit a hard surface and slide. Bring them here. I'll take care of the rest. This is your last chance. What are you going to do? Kill me? I know you don't fear death, but I fear what's going to happen when this position's taken away from you. I can easily make someone else Don. Do what you're told, and we'll be square. You just start hearing footsteps closer to you coming to the door.
Oh, okay. Then I'm going to move away, and I'm gonna go back up the. I'm gonna go back up.
Okay. Are you heading back upstairs, or are you taking post?
I'm gonna head back upstairs.
Okay.
And I'm gonna do it quickly.
Okay. So you quick run upstairs. You make it to the door. Are you gonna open it?
Is there a way to open it slightly?
No, it works on a switch, so once you push it to unlock it, it slides on its own.
Alright, well then I'm gonna open it.
Okay. You open it. Doesn't seem like anybody immediately notices you going through. You walk out.
And then I'm gonna head to where there was you said there was some shadows by that actual door too, right?
The door is in shadows.
Okay, so I'm just going to kind of move closer to the wall, away from let the door shut, and just kind of like, I'm not going to change fully, but I'm going to modify and kind of blend a little bit into the shadow.
All right, give me a stealth check with advantage so you can hide in the shadow.
I already have advantage.
Yep. 30. Okay, so you are changing the coloration of the look so it has more blacks and grays so you can blend in with the colors a little bit better. As the door opens back up, you're pretty content that you're hidden as you see Renard and Rebus come out. Renard's talking about, so what do you want to do? Send them there. Plant some soldiers. Deal with them. I want to know what they know. Dead or alive. What do you think? Get the information, and I don't care what. What about me? You want them? Take them. I only need to know what they know. After that, they're as good as yours. As you can kind of hear Renard kind of have like a more maniacal laughter as it almost sounds like he wants to do something with you guys after Reeves is done with you.
All right.
As they start walking off past you, and the door closes again.
Interesting. So now, from where I am, how close? Oh,
crap! I forgot a piece of information.
Oh, do I get an extra information from my little win?
Yep.
Little prize?
Yep.
Woo! Extra information. This is when you win a pop quiz. Is awesome. Stay in school, whoever is kids watching us.
Take good note.
True. Take good notes, stay in school, and don't do drugs.
This is your friendly reminder.
Life lessons.
Oh, okay. So here's a few things that you heard him mention. One.
Okay.
Is
Someone
Rebus...
write these down for me, please, because I don't have a pen.
Got it.
Revis somehow has proof that you're the group that killed Vincent.
Oh. But we didn't.
Yes, you
Did
did.
we? Oh.
Yes, you did.
I can't remember who I've killed.
Was it Vincent, or are you talking about Val? Because we had the thing for
No,
the warrant
Vincent.
was for Valius Shauna. Okay, for Vincent.
No,
okay.
he knows that he has somehow proof that you killed Vincent, Celeste's father. Because Vincent
whoops.
was one of the four lords, aka employed
yeah.
by the thing.
I forget who we've killed. Sorry, we've killed so many.
And
You've killed so many.
also, even though he has a warrant out for you, he just discovered that he knows that you guys, the Don asks if the part of the bounty should be removed that you guys actually kidnapped Valeris because you did. And you said no, keep it up there. Bait is what bait is for.
Yeah.
And I know who has her, and as long as she's with her father, that's just sweetening the pot.
Interesting.
They also mentioned, because I'm giving this to you, why she is with Valeris. Valeris needs to do a blood ritual that needs a direct descendant for it to work.
Imagine that. Blood magic needing actual blood.
That's what you get.
Awesome. Woo! So, okay, so have I seen them walk away from me now?
Yeah, they've entered in more into the ballroom as they've kind of signified to the announcer, don't even bother announcing us, they're heading their way out and they're leaving the building.
Okay, so then I'm going to... Do I see is Gramps still sitting in the little place, or is...
I don't know, Gramps, did you stay where you were?
No. He's not gonna sit by himself. That opens door for people to talk to him.
That's true. That's very
He has found a random group of people talking and just keeps nodding his head like, yeah. And then when it turns to him, like, what do you have to say about it? He's like, oh. And then he goes across the room and joins a different group and it's just like, yeah.
Okay.
Alora and Fig, give me perception checks.
Oh, perception.
Fig with advantage because you are standing right
sure.
there.
Okay, let me do that again then.
28 for me.
Natural 20 for Fig. Okay, so
with the 6.
So Laura, you are looking in direction because you just saw Revis and Renard walk out the door, and you see a guard still standing there, kind of. But this guard looks different. Blacks, grays, kind of walks out, changing. Fig, you notice before the door closes, even though because it takes a little time for it to close, it takes like about 10 seconds. Even though Revis and Renard are away, the door is closing. Almost like snap blink in front of your eyes, someone runs past you right through the door. So fast you can barely see who it is, but you can see someone cloaked in black, wearing a silver mask, run past you and immediately walk through the door and go downstairs.
Go downstairs?
Yep, back to where you just came. They just ran downstairs, taking the opportunity of the door being open to run through.
Huh. Interesting. Well. Okay.
And doors closed.
Did it look like what's their face that was part of our party for a little while that we brought here? Yeah.
Yep. Looks like Ada.
Of course, it's Ada. All right. Well.
I saw this as well?
You would have seen it too. Yep.
Do I know the Don was down there?
You could suspect it, but you wouldn't have
did.
known positively. But you do know that was the way the Don went when he went through the door. That you would have had to take that way to the door to get to where the Don is.
The seer is going to take a small bathroom break.
Okay. The seer is tired, must regenerate.
Yes. Corbin will
My
let everyone know that the
mind's
seer needs a moment.
Cloudy. I
Hold,
a few
Yep.
minutes.
hold your third eye.
I will
Yeah.
say at this point, for Alora and Corbin, you have made yourself about, let's say how much gold you would have made at this point. Plus what you already got from the ones we were talking about. You made 20 pieces of gold.
Yeah,
8
10
or
each.
total? 10 each?
20,
Okay.
because you have one jar, so 20 pieces of gold in that jar.
Well, yeah, no one's gonna tip the butler. Come on now,
Nope.
we gotta strategic.
Once we're alone, I give you 10 gold.
Hey,
Oh, you're the one that was doing all the
You
work.
get the finder fee.
Team effort. Team effort.
Team effort.
yeah, she couldn't have done it. She couldn't have done that convincing without me.
All right, so we're gonna go around. I'm just gonna say to the group, raise your hand if there's something you want to do right now.
Money. I like
All
money.
right, Alora.
She wants to go kill the Don.
Hell yeah. So I would like to sneak away and find a little alcove and kind of change and okay. Would I at least have my disguise kit where I can kind of change my skin tone and look different?
It would take you a little bit, but if you gave me I'd say roll me dexterity check plus your proficiency bonus to see how quickly you could do it without making a giant mess that people would notice. Natural 20. Yeah. Just out of nowhere, you decide to get your cosplay game going on. It's like, just like, you know how sometimes maybe we're doing cosplay, just like, I don't know how it did it on point this time, but I gotta remember how I did it this way. Like, it just,
I
it's
did
like,
both eyeliners perfect.
yeah, like, just like perfectly straight. Somehow you just like threw a wig on and just like landed perfectly like right on your brow line. Like,
Oh my
okay, like it all worked
We're-
great. You know, it's
The eyeliner is twins, not sisters. Yes.
Twins, not sisters.
and
That's actually
as
a
you
thing.
finish it, you're just like, all right, I almost let it go. But then you're thinking to yourself, like, damn, how did I do it? Oh fuck, I'm never gonna be able to do it that good again. But yes, you are looking like someone else.
I do give Alora a disapproving look, like, what are you doing?
I 100% ignore you.
Oh, I 100% expect you to 100% ignore me.
All right, so what are you looking like?
So I would like to, let's see, I'm still small and short. So
Yep.
I would like to look like a very young, shorter elf. I still have my pointed ears.
You couldn't with disguise kit. You couldn't change your height. You have no
so
way.
I'm still very short.
She's a dwarf, or
Are-
like a midget elf.
Are you just
You're an
becoming
elf
like?
with
Are you turning
dwarfism.
yourself like into like a halfling? Is that
Well,
what
they
you're
could look like a
You
wood
know what?
elf.
Yeah, I'll change into a halfling.
doing? Okay.
There you go.
So
That works.
I'm gonna be a halfling. I'm gonna have a very light complexion.
Mhm.
My hair is just gonna be like a nondescript brown. I kind of want to look more like everybody else, but ain't enough. No one's gonna bat an eye at me.
Okay. Are you
I
Are you doing female or male?
Female.
Female. Okay.
I'm going to try and alter my mask a little bit so it's not gonna look like the one I came in at.
Okay.
Like where I had a kind of crow beak, I'm gonna break that off and kind of put some black eyeliner around it to cover up any scratches on it. I'm still kind of the same clothing. I just moved some stuff around so it's not exactly how it was before,
Sure.
but I'm still in like the long dark suit coat. And then I want to kind of sneak out and slowly make my way to the rest of the group, just nonchalantly letting them know I'm gonna find the Don.
Mhm.
He's downstairs. Meet me there if you can. And then
Wait,
try and make my way into that secret room.
who are you telling this to?
All of you guys. I'm just gonna slowly make my way.
So it would take you about 20 minutes to kind of mention to everybody. Fig, would you have left your post, or would you just kind of like hung out there, just hanging
Nope,
out?
I'm still in the hidden
Okay.
area.
So you wouldn't be able to really see where Fig is until you
I'm
gotta get there.
camouflaged into the rock or whatever wall thing.
I saw her there with my roll.
Yeah,
right.
before.
Right. Yep. Okay.
It'll just look like you're standing by the wall.
So you do.
Not really.
So no cards have currently come back yet. You do see Fig in a altered look, standing there.
Gonna end so poorly.
Mm-hmm. What are you talking about?
Should have put my money on Elle fucking this up.
Not I.
Hey, I did nothing. I got out. I got information and got out. That's what I
Can
did.
I keep an eye out so as soon as I can sneak through that side door?
Okay. So currently nobody's looking at you because a lot of people are watching more of the party, watching some people do some acts, as watching Renard, or I guess they would have passed already at this point. No one's currently looking at the door, so you are very easily able to open it without anybody noticing.
Cool. I'm gonna go through it.
Okay. Fig, are you staying back?
Yes.
Okay. So Allura is by herself. So
At this moment in time, I'm
It's gonna
still
you
be
do have your
wonderful
spiral
idea, guys.
staircase. You do find your way down there and you see the similar room that Fig saw. At this current point, doors are all closed. No guards are at post. What would you like to do?
I'm gonna start listening at doors because I have no idea which doors he's in or what they heard earlier.
Okay, perception check, please.
You got this.
20.
Spooky
Okay.
20, not natural 20.
Closest one to the right, you hear a fight going on in a room. As very much like cop interrogation. You ready to tell me what you got? Do you tell me, are you going to tell us what you know? Very much being up on somebody and trying to get some information out of them. Far one to the right. You listen in. You hear a whisper. You can't hear what it's saying, but someone sounds like they're quietly talking to themselves. Door closest to where you came in on the left. Very similar to what Fig saw you or heard. How long do you have? I should be going up there in a few minutes. Think the boss said that a couple of them are over in the other room. We might have to switch out pretty soon. Yeah, I was hoping I wouldn't have to take care of it now, but yeah, give me a couple minutes, I'll be out there. Next room up, you listen in. You hear a slight breeze come to the room, curtains flowing, and you can kind of hear the window shutters kind of clasping back and forth. Nothing else. Give me a perception on the big doors. 20.
Another 20.
As you're listening in. How'd you get free? I want what I'm due. If it's either what I need or your blood, I don't care. I just want what is owed to me. And then it goes silent.
Yes, and that's a fair guess that Fate is in there.
Mm-hmm.
The first door where I hear the fight going on, can we go back to that one and just, as that's the first one that we were at, I just, before I listened to the others, I wanted to stick my knife under the door and look at the reflection on my knife and see who's in there.
Okay, give me another perception check because you're using a knife as a reflection service. 23. Okay. You are seeing what looked like it was the gentleman that was with Fig over at one of the tables, currently getting beaten up by 2 guards. It seems like a simple room. There is 2 large tables. Currently, it looks like the person that's getting beaten up is kind of like locked to a chair, unable to fight back. That's pretty much it. So it looks like there's a window on the side, but is currently latched and locked.
Okay, he's fine. I'm gonna go back to the big door.
That's a future problem.
He's not dead. It's fine.
It's fine.
I'm gonna go back to the door where the Don and Beta are at.
Okay. Are you gonna open it?
I like to stick the knife under and see where they're at in correlation to the room and the door first.
Okay, another perception check. Okay. It is a large squared off room. I'd probably say about 30 by 30. There is a large desk in the middle. Currently, it looks like the Don is sitting at the desk, and it looks like Ada is kind of like putting a blade next to him as he's like kind of like pushing his neck up against the actual base, like the backrest of the chair. As far as other things around the room, it looks like there's a door on the left and the right side. Unsure where they lead to. There is a giant, like almost full-walled window behind the desk. Leads outside. And it looks like there is what looks like an elevator shaft to the right center of the room. Like just sitting there in the middle of the room, not against the wall, just like in the middle of the room.
I'm gonna walk in.
Okay, door's locked.
I'll lockpick it.
Okay. Dexterity plus proficiency bonus.
Pick
Oh,
the lock. Pick that lock. Pick.
Okay.
So it'll be 12 plus my proficiency.
Proficiency bonus for 17.
Proficiency.
So you're able to pick the lock and you open it up.
Blah 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 blah.
But you are not really quiet about it as you open up the 2 doors and you do see with his mask off, you do see Ada staring directly with the knife at him. Don't move any further. I just want what I came here for. As he has his knife directly to Don's neck.
He told me not to move any further.
Yep.
I'm gonna take off my mask where I still have green because I didn't do my whole face because the mask was covering it.
Okay.
So why not?
Okay.
And be like, it's me. Hi, we met. You know me. I mean, go ahead, by all means, kill him.
The
but
Don's just like, what the hell is this? It's like, shut up!
I'm
what are you
just gonna
doing here?
Hold my finger up to him. Let me see those 2 doors. We want to make sure those are locked before you do anything else, and I'm gonna go and make sure all the doors are locked.
Oh no.
And the Don's like, aren't you gonna help me? Shut up! As he just puts the knife closer to his neck.
Yeah, shut up.
Alright. So you're able to lock both doors. You don't see a way to lock the elevator, but the elevator looks like it has, compared to the elevator you guys went up, this lever is on the ground as like a kind of like an anchor lock for a ship, which you got to actually crank from like down, up, down. You don't see a way to lock it, but you do have the other doors locked. So he's just looking at the Don. So, where is it? I don't know what you're talking about. Fine. Anything you want? Looks at you, Allura.
Yeah, his head if I could.
Alright, fair enough. As he just literally just stabs him directly in the neck.
Oh God!
That's where we're gonna end it for the night.
Oh my God!
Easiest
That's a
kill
shiv.
I've ever had to do.
You didn't even have to do it.
You didn't even have to do it. They did it for you.
Oh
You
my
just
God. So
influenced.
technically, if you can get out of there, it won't be on your head.
Exactly.
So
Anything you want? I want him dead. Okay.
So
Hey!
we'll continue off with part 3 next week, next Thursday.
Wow.
We're almost done with the we're in the final hours of the Masquerade. So up until next session, think of anything else you guys want to do. up until then, other than, you know, Alora just like collecting the head for personal reasons.
I went in for information. I mean, I applaud. Fig would applaud you because you took the head, but
Technically, she didn't take anything.
Not yet.
Just an influence.
Not yet.
actually, you don't need the head to actually get the bounty.
All right,
but-
so just to lay it out for everyone, I just want to let you know how this is going to be messed up. So first of all, Alora is alone with Ada and a
Oh yeah, and
decapitated
Ada
Don,
doesn't,
right?
and the Ada doesn't have his mask on, right? So
And Ada does not have a mask on. Fig did not go with her down there. So Fig is no one other than Alora knows where Fig is. So none of you know where Fig is.
Yep.
Celeste is just walking around, not really keeping in touch except for with Hal. She knows where Hal is and probably where Engie is.
Angie's making margaritas.
Cargrim,
Also
you actually lost sight of Fig because Fig changed their look.
Yeah.
Yep, he's party. He's
and Corbin's just standing at the seer booth,
Yeah,
really
and
like.
Corbin, you have no idea where Alora went. So
well, being very
I
awkward.
told them.
not
I was
only
closing
did not only
the door.
did Alora just essentially
Yep.
just let murder happen, but now no one knows where everybody is. So I just want to let you guys know how this is set.
Hey, technically, Elle did tell all of them where she was going. I saw
True.
her where she went.
True.
But yeah,
True. All right.
I'm
Secret
just
agent
hidden. I'm a camouflage. You see nothing.
So the number one rule, don't split the party, has just completely gone out the window.
Yeah,
Yep.
pretty
Yeah.
much. She went by herself, so.
Yeah.
Good stuff. I'm
Yep.
gonna have fun with this. All right.
We didn't need to
All right.
Oh, good.
Good night, guys.
Thanks, everybody.
Good night, everybody. Thank you for watching.